You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
Hey guys, looks like your free ride's over, huh? Have fun living on the streets.
Okay, cool. Good chatting, you guys.
Yes. Welcome to the weekly Rogues Gallery, now on Wednesdays. I'm your host, Iron Oxide, and this is I didn't know whether to call this episode 1 or episode 50, because we're at 50 episodes on the regular Friday show, which is now rebranded the Weekend Rogues Gallery. Nothing there has changed. That show's still going on as planned. We're just doing 2 shows a week now. So I guess we'll just call this one episode 1 of the new rescheduled weekly Rogues Gallery. But here we are. We're going to have a pretty laid back evening. This is our first one during the week, so we're all kind of getting used to that. And we got a few things to talk about, but this is also a big announcement. The first live stream of the channel since hitting 504 subscribers and being accepted in the YouTube partner program, monetization. And right off the bat, we have some really, really good friends already contributing to the channel. We've got, these are the first official super chats. We've gotten the stream elements things that you can get. Those are cool as hell. But this is like bragging rights now. It makes you feel like you're actually a real content creator, actually doing something, and all this time hasn't just been wasted.
It's a seed money for the baby fund.
Rush.
I see what you did there.
Hey, fuck
Need money.
you. Vagabond, who again, you're welcome to come in if you're not busy tonight, man. You're a panelist and a member of the Rogues Gallery. First super chat ever. First super chat. Congrats. P.S. We need that mini Iron and Selena. This joke's gonna go on forever. Second one, Lawrence Knight for $25. That for us, that's a big freaking deal, man. There, let's go. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Then we've got Blue Eyed Scorpio. I think one of the first channel mods ever. One of the coolest dudes here. This is awesome. Congrats. Thank you, Blue Eyed Scorpio.
Thank you.
And going down to the bottom, let's see. Who should I have read? Yeah, I'll read it. From Arza for $2. That Arza guy is pretty hot and funny and cool. A. Did you mean to put something after the A?
Like looking into a mirror and giving yourself affirmation.
Cool. A.
It's you. The word and.
You know who reminds me of? Stuart from
whoever said that, I don't have a clue who said that. Thank you so much. That means so much to me. I'm good.
Right. Because you didn't go and like do it on an alt channel or anything.
No, I don't
be
have
too smart.
He wants that clout.
Professor Savage Dad, another member of the panel. Again, if you want to pop in tonight, you're more than welcome, bud. You know where to find the link. Make that baby now. You promised the chat. Okay.
We didn't promise shit.
Yeah, you guys promised it for us. I went along with the joke, being it's
Sounds
a joke.
Still legally binding in any court of law.
Hey, let's go around the horn and say hi to everybody. Starting right over here. Theo Snodgrass, how's your week going, man?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here. I've just distinctly noticed the chat has not requested that I have any babies, and I want to know what's up with that.
So
you are quite.
I'm not. Am I not good enough that you want a copy of me? What's going on, guys?
Theo, where's the
I think the problem is, Theo, the chat assumes that you already have several out there. You just don't know about.
All right. All right.
The man with the plan and the hat, Strider. How's it going tonight?
Doing good. I was just wearing it to try to stretch it out a bit because it's rodeo season down here in Houston. So was planning on going this weekend, but going to a funeral instead. So that's not going to be as fun. But it lasts until like next week, the week after next. I've got a while, but I thought, I'll just keep it on. Why not? I kind of like it.
The hat's the right color.
If the family uses their imagination, it can be as fun as a rodeo. That's my plan now. My funeral, honey, she turned off her camera because she hates the topic of death. But for I want like a mini carnival or rodeo, like with fair rides and carnies.
Hell yeah! I'll be there.
Don't play Pop Goes the Weasel at least once.
You should have your funeral.
Oh, that's dark.
Have a circus for that
funeral. Like, set me on a raft, set me out in the middle of the lake or the middle of an ocean, and have have some guy dressed as Thor fire a flaming arrow at my corpse and just let it burn, and we'll let everybody watch it and drink mead all night. Sounds good to me. Send me away on the ocean, please.
Okay, there, Thor.
Yeah,
I'm not quite dead yet.
Arza Chats, what's going on, man?
I'm back to doing my videos. I took the last week off because of my car situation. Got the news. Car is condemned. I hit the perfect sweet spot going 15 miles an hour. Car's dead. But, I don't feel so bad about it. I've had time to process. I'm doing just fine. Videos are back to flowing. I've got, no views on my last video, which is hilarious. But it's fine. Everything's great. And I'm looking forward to another awesome show with all of you guys.
Awesome. It's good having you here, man. And we're all, Strider here lost a family member, but we're all pretty sad about your car too.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah.
The Vaughn Coleman first.
Yeah. I didn't back Phenomenova because I thought he'd be safe, but he's getting revenge on me for not doing it.
Right. He'll go after your car either way. Vaughn Coleman is a psychopath, like certifiable. But his book is amazing, and I did really enjoy it.
I can't wait to read it.
He is a troubled individual, and everyone should just stay away from him personally. Buy his stuff, but avoid him in all physical contact.
Darnell,
Darnell Quigley, what's going on, man?
Oh, none. Since we're talking about loss, I came out here and had a real depressed afternoon. I was expecting to hear an awesome new theme song, and I'm almost inconsolable.
Yeah. If I can get it done by Friday, I will.
For
the record, folks, he does make incredible AI music and does it for free. And I was kind of a pain in the ass because I made him change it like 12 times.
It was fun.
Exactly what I wanted.
I learned stuff.
It's really good. It's exactly what I wanted. So I am excited to debut the new intro for either this show or the Friday show. I haven't decided which one I'm putting it on yet, but yeah. And then down at the bottom, our producer and my wife, ScreamQueenSelena. Excuse me. How's it going?
Hey, we got another super chat. Just highlighting it.
Holy crap. LG, what is up, man? A little birdie told me you were monetized. Congrats. Now y'all are going to have to make an appointment with another bird, the stork. How far did this joke come?
Not you too.
It's being brought into existence.
What the crap?
It's the modern females manifesting things.
David D, look at me on the super chat.
Okay, that's a normal super chat. Thank you, David D.
Thanks for no pressure, by the way. No pressure.
What do I think is money that doesn't want us to have kids?
I'm not having performance anxiety and thinking I need
challenge for the chat. Every super chat from now to the end of the show, make it about that.
No.
About
no,
the
you
joke.
don't have to do that.
All right, sure.
Anyway.
We do have a guest star now. Quit being rude.
Sorry.
Yeah.
First time on the show, Alysun Sanders. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hey guys, it's great to be on here. So I'm kind of new to this whole podcasting world. I got introduced by Theo up there. But yeah, he's above. Hi.
He turned his camera. He's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, he would. Yeah, so I'm just working on a new book, publishing, getting into that publishing world, trying to break into it, but in moving apartments all at the same time.
Oh, fun.
Oh, I hate moving.
I know we're getting an extra bedroom, so an office. Yeah.
Nice.
Did you hear of our opinion on moving and fat guys before we came live? It's good to be fat because no one asks you to help move because they don't want you to have a heart attack while you're moving your stuff.
Never stopped anyone from asking me, so I call BS.
I think you should take that as a compliment then.
Just never own a truck.
That's a big thing. Yeah. I've thought about buying a pickup, but then I know every asshole that I've ever talked to is going to be like, "Hey, I'm moving. Can you just help me with a few things like my couch and an armoire and heavy wooden furniture that my grandma gave me?" The
bed, and the table, and all the boxes.
Huge credenza that should be fit in the back of a moving truck. Yeah, been there.
Credenza.
Okay, so real quick for the straight men in the audience, what is a credenza?
I don't know. It just sounded old.
Okay.
Davenport.
I know it's an old. I'm stealing from a Family Guy joke because
gotcha.
Yep, I knew that's what you were from.
Okay.
Yeah,
A
the joke is
credenza.
Brian dating an older lady.
She's in a
and
Davenport.
She's listing all these old names for
Brian's getting aggravated.
Talking about.
So a
Yeah,
credenza
it was when
is a
Brian
side
was
table.
dating the older woman. I remember.
Yeah.
You do know. Okay.
Well,
So if we're confused about what it is, you
I said
asked
the
the
straight guys,
sexually ambiguous one.
Parsley, you're not exactly bucking the stereotype.
I just googled it. Okay, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page right now.
See, they're
Credenza
smart.
It's a dining room sideboard cupboard, so it's an end table basically for your dining room.
Like the China set things like the
Okay.
Spirit of China.
Oh, those are hideous. I hate those.
See, that was back in the day when people actually had large homes and could fill them with furniture.
They're better for toy display than
Hey,
dishes.
there's another super chat. I just want to draw attention to that.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let me check it out.
Okay.
Oh.
Who's
Gal's suspicious here.
Oh no! Oh no!
Gal's missing Bush?
Oh no! I found Theo's alternate channel.
Well,
That has never been proven.
Bush. And if you see the rest of Gal, tell her hi too.
But we never see Theo and Gal's Missing Bush in the same room, so
That's never been proven.
Oh my god.
This is for the
That's a
baby fun.
rumor.
Thank you so much, Gal.
Thank you.
someone's gonna see this and think, what did I miss?
Back to our guest, Alysun. So you're what is your genre in particular of writing or
I typically write like young adult, new adult kind of romance story, coming of age. I write a lot of coming of age stories. Yeah.
Okay, so definitely selected audience.
Yes.
Well, what were some books that you kind of inspired you to when you were getting going, like growing up?
Well, so I started off writing fantasy years ago, but I didn't read a lot of fantasy. I read a lot of like, what I write now, which is the young adult kind of new adult romance, coming of age stuff. And Sarah Dessen is one of my favorite authors. She was my biggest inspiration, I think.
Okay.
She hasn't published a book since 2019, but I check every week.
And I think we're all thinking the same thing. We don't know who that is.
I know.
I'm
trying to think of another one. Who's that guy who wrote the John Green, right? The Fault in Our Stars.
Okay, I've heard of John Green.
Yeah.
Wait,
so sad books.
They're not. Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. Do you know my habits with watching movies? You think I read?
No.
Go.
Well, there is a pretty big topic going on in the entertainment news sphere. I'm sure whether you read them or not, you're familiar with the Harry Potter book and film series. And I kind of want to get your perspective about this. If anything you wrote was able to get big enough to get put on to adapted into film or movies, how true to the source material would you expect the studio to stay? Let's say you had a say and you got to keep the paycheck no matter what.
Yeah. Well, I'm a huge fan of Harry Potter. I always was growing up. So I would want them to be as authentic as possible to the actual original story.
And that leads us right into what was supposed to be the most authentic adaptation of Harry Potter yet, since the last film series had was beloved as they were, had a lot of critique moving forward. A lot of characters were left out. Everything was condensed. Entire plot points were just scrapped. And that happens a lot, even in some of the best book adaptations I've read, like a lot of them with Stephen King. That's why I've always thought short series works way better for a long book series than movie. Even if you're doing one movie per book, sometimes it could take 3 or 4 movies of the same length just to cover the one book.
Yeah,
right.
So
100%.
I was a Harry Potter fan too, still am. So I was excited when this was announced, and then they got right out. They hit a home run with what the first casting I thought, which was John Lithgow.
100%
as Professor Dumbledore. And it shows that J.K. Rowling's going a little, she's leaned up on one of her original rules. It had to be an all British cast.
Yeah. Because originally Robin Williams was supposed to be Hagrid, and I would have given my left arm to see that. That would have been amazing. He would have been
the guy who played him did incredible.
He did.
Yes. He was a very unpleasant drunk to be around on the set, as far as a lot of the rumors are concerned. But he did a great job. Hey, Kata, we saw you on the Tuesday Night Man event last night, man. Knocked it out of the park. That was awesome watching that.
Congrats to you.
Bro was covered by freaking Asmongold. Now he's on Tuesday Main Event. He's gonna abandon us and forget all about us.
Yeah,
right. We're the little people.
Well, no, the little people will come now that you've hit 500.
Yeah, we'll slowly get rid of all of us.
Good one.
Stop it.
Back to the topic.
That's a baby joke, by the way.
Yes, we know.
Thank you, Strider. Thank you, Strider.
Okay. So right after gaining a whole lot of goodwill from the fans with the casting of John Lithgow.
I promise we're not that talented. Well, once the novelty of monetization wears off, we'll be a little bit better at
it. Anyway, continue.
All right. So, right off that, we got this casting. Who I haven't heard of this actor, but I don't see any reason. I haven't heard
resemblance. They look the same.
No. I don't see any reason to doubt that he's not a good actor. I just haven't happened to see anything that he was in. But right off the bat, aside from just, being a little bit of the wrong complexion for Snape.
Yeah.
And before you quote me on that and I start getting taken out of context, who was described as extremely pale, almost marble-like skin. He's also described as extremely ugly, and I've heard a lot of people say this guy looks like a GQ model, and that's the best description I've seen.
Look, okay,
Yeah.
As the residential male-attracted individual, he's far too hot. Look, I would do unspeakable things to this man. He's far too good looking for this show.
God damn.
He's a hot dude. He's a hot
All
dude.
right.
So he looks like he could tuck me
at
in
him.
bed, and I'd thank him for it.
All right.
Exactly.
If I can redirect this, okay. So my issue with the casting is like he's probably a great actor, but it just changes the context of the backstory. If you remember, Harry's dad and his homies used to just relentlessly bully this guy.
Yes.
And if it's a bunch of white dudes relentlessly bullying the only black kid in school, that's just a bad look.
He gets better. He gets better.
The only way to make
Poor
that
black kid.
Yeah.
They hang him from a tree.
Yeah.
James Potter says his only problem with Snape is that he simply exists.
No. It's worse than that. It's worse than that. No, it's worse than that. He gets hung from the tree for flirting with a white girl.
Yeah.
Oh, no. No.
The only way.
I'm telling you, they're gonna cast Harry. James is gonna be black. Harry's gonna be a mixed kid, probably black and Mexican or Spanish. Watch.
Nice.
Well, that's the thing. The only way to remove that context is to make the Marauders not all white. Yeah. The only way to lessen that impact, unless of course that's what they want. Unless of course that's what they want to invoke. And let's be perfectly honest. J.K. Rowling may be very vocal about the existence of women, but she is as leftist as they, which is fine. That's her prerogative, but she's as leftist as they come with everything else.
Yep.
She
With
most
everything
likely
else.
is okay with this.
Look, I just want to say, if they're gonna race swap the Marauders, I really badly want them to make Sirius black because it's his name, and I really want them to make oh god, his name is escaping me now.
Pettigrew,
Lupin.
Yeah, Lupin. I really want them to make Lupin Asian, so he literally is what he eats.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Yo,
what you got me when those names you just dropped, those are all characters that you could technically change. They could have all been black dudes and it wouldn't have affected the story in any way. You change Snape and that affects the story tremendously. And that's what I'm more afraid of them doing than anything else, is changing the story and what all of the meaning behind everything was, or trying to give it like some sort of make everything an allegory, even when it wasn't to begin with. Mm-hmm. That's where I have a problem. And then if they're not going to change it at all, and they're just going to try and just push this by, like James is picking on the black kid and he's still, everything else is just going on. It's just going to be a absurd to watch.
Yeah.
Hey, student of God or Battsauce, whoever it may be.
Look at James. Oh, he's hanging the black kid again. Oh, that darn James.
Right? It changes the context of everything. And the thing, what makes it so frustrating is that you can tell. I don't know. For me, this tells me that the creators just did not think at all, or they did not care. Either way, it does not look good about them. Does not look good on them, because if they didn't even think about it, who's going to attribute meaning to this stuff? The rest of the internet that we already are doing. Just wait till that scene drops in was it Half-Blood Prince, or is it Order of the Phoenix?
Order of the Phoenix.
But when that whole thing thank you. Whenever the whole thing goes with the Order of the Phoenix, the internet is going to fucking explode. With all they're going to be breaking all of that down. There's going to be articles from the Mary Sue. There's the Slate is going to run with it. Everybody's going to run with it. It's like, here's why
the Atlantic, all the usual rags.
Yeah, and the worst part is
HBO stepping in and saying no.
One at a time, guys. One at a time.
Sorry. Yeah. It's like if we don't see meaning into it, even if the fans are completely fine with this, in a perfect world where it's like, okay, sure, why not? Raise blind casting. They are going to run with it. And they're going to be even more motivated to do that now, because fans are like, what are you doing?
Now, to the point that Jack Tarlai just came up, the proper name is going to be Harry Potter and the Half-Fent Kang.
No. It is the sickle cell blood prince.
See,
Oh,
the
God,
memes
stop.
I think that was Kana that put that up for her.
Yeah, that's where I got it from.
Off the hook, by the
Where I got
way,
it from.
and they're not from white people. They're the best ones that I've seen. The most like cutting have been all from black people who are not okay with this.
Kaida has been
Right, well,
on it.
here's the biggest. They think that it's only going to be closeted racist white people that are mad about this. They don't realize that there are other races of fans of Harry Potter all over the world, lots of them, and they feel the exact same way. They don't like seeing this stuff changed for no reason, or they don't like seeing it changed. Again, to the bigger point is that this change drastically affects the story.
Yeah.
It could have been so many other main, larger characters, or they could just actually give the existing black character a larger part like he had in the books.
Which
Now,
King
here's a thought.
is a badass.
Here's a thought I had that no one's really talked about. So I know we forget that these companies that are producing these shows, yes, as a showrunner, yes, as a creator who has final say, they're owned by corporations or are being controlled by corporations.
Right.
There is a possibility HBO is coming down like, look, I get you're the director, but you're going to do this. Because the director has come out and defended this. I know that's what we know, or that's what we're supposed to. Supposedly.
That might just. I see what you're saying. That it might be up to the studio executives have a higher.
No, you're changing this.
Yeah.
Because has the director or J.K. Rowling come out and defended this since the backlash started?
That's the thing. There hasn't been a peep. In fact,
that's one thing I'm thinking about.
The actor hasn't confirmed
I'm
it.
saying. Maybe
the studio hasn't
them.
confirmed it. Yeah.
Correct.
Let's let Alysun go.
Maybe it's coming from above him. Maybe
I heard a rumor about this, but I didn't know if it was confirmed or not. I know Lithgow was confirmed.
Yeah.
Yes. So far, Lithgow is the only one 100% confirmed. Okay. There are deep insiders in the studio that are 99% right on all of these rumors. So at this point, it's all but confirmed from what I've read, unless something else has changed.
He actually commented.
Lithgow is confirmed. He has tweeted. Paapa here. I hope I'm saying it right. I'll just call him Paapa.
Yeah.
Hasn't made a peep. Right? Well, I'll leave that to Arza. He seems a lot more interested in doing so.
Look, I'm just saying, White Cheese got it right. I'm going to need a wheelchair.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Oh, it wasn't a gay joke, it was an Australian joke.
Oh, boy. Speaking of Deep Insider, do you think we could get a Puerto Rican Hermione next? Asking for a friend.
You are asking too much, sir.
Maybe Latina Hermione. That would be good.
Hold up. Wait.
No, Latinx, not
she's
Latino.
12, Theo. She's 12, Theo.
I was gonna say you beat
for
me
now.
To it. I was gonna let him keep digging. Like, so you're gonna wait for the statute of limitation to run out?
You didn't hear me say for now. I'm the gross one.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about middle schools later, Darnell. Not on this stream.
I do want to point out if we.
Thank you, Standing Desk Studios, for the super
Standing
chat.
Desk Studios for $2. Congrats on the monetization and the price.
Not yet.
I'm pretty sure that is Theo's secondary channel because he's always talking about his standing desk.
And then Drunken Arrow for 25.
Hey.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
He forgot one thing. I guess he just ran out of characters.
No, he's being classy. That's cool.
But I want to point out the if they race swap Hermione into being a black character, Hermione's last name is 1 letter or 2 letters shy of Ginger, and Ginger is a pretty common anagram of another racially charged word.
Which is funny because I, as a ginger, take great offense to that.
And that was another thing that was brought up. You're bringing up the Cursed Child, the Broadway play where they made cast Hermione as an African American actress, and a lot of people saw when you read the description of Hermione in the book, that is extremely. If she was writing about a black girl, that is the most offensive shit anyone can write. About just the hair description alone.
And you're gonna call the one black character the Mudblood if she or the one of the two.
Right.
And here's the other thing. Right? I said this on my video. This is the main point of my video on this topic. every single thing that we're saying right now isn't because we believe it, isn't because we endorse these jokes. It's because Warner Bros. Is inviting it. Every single bad thing that will be said about these castings is 100% Warner Bros. Fault for putting it out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's just so weird because you don't need to insert like a persecutorial complex within every single one of these with every single like plot or character interaction, because persecution and bigotry and not really racism, but that already exists within the wizarding world between the magical and the non-magical. You already got that. Why add another context? Why insert another one like that modern context into a story where it didn't exist, especially back in the 90s? And hopefully that's my big concern, because if they set this in 2010 or 2015 or 20 or whatever, it's not going to work because technology has advanced so much. Like back in the 90s when technology compared to now is pretty Stone Age when you look at it. Like people could do things without anybody recording, without anybody knowing. It was entirely possible. So it would be much easier for the wizarding world to kind of stay hidden.
Well,
so
you got to think about it this way: they're going to save a lot of money on special effects because instead of sending an owl, they're just texting Harry or sending him a Snapchat.
Wait,
it's not going to be as fun.
I was going to find it. Technology doesn't work in the wizarding world. Magic disrupts technology, so that's not going to happen.
You're right.
Well, knowing Warner Bros., they're going to violate that. But also, the other nice thing is they don't have to put very many effects into Paapa Essiedu casting magic, because I hear he's already a master of black magic. I mean, you guys know Paapa Essiedu's Snape's signature spell, Septum Sempra. Spell that is described as creating an invisible sword to slash your opponents. Do you think they'll change the description to be an invisible spear?
Oh God!
Oh Lord!
Oh man!
Got him monetized.
Thank God. You're monetized for now.
for one day, and it's gone. When this happens, I always do feel bad for the actors involved until some of them, like the actress who's playing Snow White right now, she immediately started opening her mouth and erasing any sympathy I had for her. But a lot of times I feel sorry for her. Good luck. You have to wrangle her eyes back together first.
What was the thing? I kind of don't, because I don't know. As an actor, if you either way you slice it, this doesn't look good for the actor as well. And I don't blame him for taking a very prestigious job, not at all. I would too, absolutely. But if as an actor, you have to know the role that you're playing. And if you know the role of Severus Snape, who was easily one of the most iconic Harry Potter characters out there, if you're accepting the role in spite of what you know, that doesn't look good. And if you but worse than that, actually, I don't know what would be worse. If you don't know that why this is an issue, then that's a problem. That's just as big of a problem. Right. So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. It would be better off for the actor to be like,
I used to feel bad for actors.
That guy, actually, if he said, you know what, I don't look like the actor, I don't look like the character, I don't think I'd be a good fit. I would actually respect him if he was there to step down and be recast like Kingsley Shacklebolt, or just race swap a more minor character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even a big character. Now that there's more time, but yes, Selena.
Oh, I was just gonna ask Alysun a question. Like, as a writer, would you, if your books became, a series or a movie, would you speak up if you didn't feel like the casting was right, or how do you feel about this?
Oh yeah, I mean, I would definitely speak up if I'm somebody who has dreamed my whole life of my books being made into movies. And I also have little like personal casts of who I would, for each character.
I love that.
Awesome.
And yeah, if some studio exec, if they cast somebody who did not fit my characters, I would be very upset because I have
you would put your foot down.
Yeah, I have a look in my mind of how they're supposed to be. I have an image of how they're supposed to be, and if it's not right, it's not right.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, And I think the problem is a lot of authors, they just see the paycheck.
Adding to Strider's point for a second.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. I wouldn't say anything. Go right ahead.
Who are you talking to?
Go ahead, Darnell.
I keep buffering.
Oh, you're behind? Okay, I thought you might be.
Yeah, I keep buffering.
I thought you might
try
be.
speaking the silence, and it's not. No, to your point. I used to feel sorry for the actors until what you said to end. Like, they know the role, you're still gonna accept it. I stopped feeling sorry for them. I was like, okay, no, you knowingly chose this, so you were getting into bed with this. I'm not feeling bad for you at all.
Yeah. But I understand
they were either completely oblivious to the character and the cultural impact that character already has, which is the case with a lot of them, or they saw a paycheck, or they have enough arrogance to think, well, once I'm in this role, no one will see that. And I got to get, if that's the case for a lot of them, I can at least respect that amount of ego.
Look, I'm gonna admit. If somebody came up to me and like, hey, we want you to play Shacklebolt.
I don't feel bad for him, though.
Play literally anyone who doesn't look like me. And I'd be like, well, this is a violation of the character. But yeah, I would love to do this because I love this property. I can't blame these actors for wanting to jump in the chance and play or trying something like this, because this will be the role of his lifetime if he gets in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And for all we know, he might be such a huge fan that this is just something he's always dreamed of. Like,
But here's the other point is, everyone's going to go to the, just wait, he might be the best actor for the job. You've had your chance to make the best actor of the job argument for the last 15 years, and never once was he the best actor for the job. That argument doesn't stand anymore. And now, I'm sorry, but when it comes to Severus Snape, a part of being the best actor for the job is looking like his iconic appearance.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's just no way around that. I mean...
Well, I was talking about pop culture. I'm sorry. I was talking about pop culture beat down. Oh, I'm sorry, Alysun. You go.
No,
I'm sorry.
Go. He's not a side character either, right? No. I mean, it's one thing if it was, like Peter Pettigrew or almost any of the other Marauders who are more kind of side characters, but he is like a main character. He is the cornerstone of the series, and it's a huge deal. His character is the biggest deal in the whole story.
Yeah, out of the adults, I think next to what's his name? John Lithgow's playing him. Dumbledore. Yeah, I keep wanting to say Gandalf. I've been doing that since I was young.
Oh my god!
I always mix them up. Dumbledore's a ripoff of Gandalf, so it doesn't matter that I get it wrong all the time.
That's fair. And it also came out. Their movies also came out around.
Wait, are you saying that he's the lame and gay version of Dumbledore, or sorry, of Gandalf?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. My point is that Snape, next to Dumbledore, God damn it, is the main adult character next to the kids in the movie. Yeah. Like, there's the main kids, Harry Potter being the main one, and then the adults. He's the main adult, unless it's Dumbledore, and that's debatable if you've read the books.
Yeah.
Snape was hands down my favorite character. So as soon as when Alan Rickman started playing him, who was also one of my favorite actors of all time, it's like he was literally born to play that character.
Yeah.
The only thing he had against the actual description of Snake is even Alan Rickman was a little too good looking to really fit the role. I thought they would have at least put a prosthetic nose, but they didn't need it.
I don't believe this claim that he's too hot, but he's too old. He's way too old. That was my issue.
Yeah.
This was like 32.
Yeah, he was too old, but they did their best. They did cake a lot of makeup on him to make him look young, and you could tell there was some filtering in post production. I couldn't imagine anyone else play him. Like today, everybody's posting Adam Driver would be their fan casting, and I think that pretty much works.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking about
Adam Driver's an ugly dude. Let's just be honest. He's a great actor.
I was talking about this on the Pop Culture Beatdown Monday night. I mentioned Adam Driver, and one of the guys on the show said he didn't think he may have like not the chops, but like the gravitas. I said I'm gonna point to 2 specific roles. One's gonna be very unconventional. Look at the Saturday Night Live episode he hosted, where he played Pete Holmes' dad at like show and tell. The lines he delivered, he was the only person on stage not breaking character, not dropping a line, and just giving off this creepy, old, angry guy like emotion. That, and then this really stupid movie, Greta Gerwig movie called White Noise on Netflix. That movie as well, like those two roles, I could see him playing Snape just based on those 2.
No, his best role was in Marriage Story, where he outacted Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
That really didn't. I think he got nominated for that. He was incredible.
Oh, he should have. That movie was fantastic, and it was all because of him.
Yeah.
Well, it's also interesting because he can do well. At least he did a pretty convincing Spanish accent in Silence. But that one samurai movie, that one like Christian Catholic samurai movie that Scorsese did, it was a minor role, but he still had a pretty convincing accent. And like British, like Americans doing Brits is very difficult. So like John Lithgow, I guarantee you the role that got him almost said Gandalf, Dumbledore. The role that got him Dumbledore, I can guarantee you, was his role as Winston Churchill in The Crown, which he was amazing in. He was fantastic. I love that show. I've been rewatching it lately. I'm like, I love this. It's wonderful.
See, my pick for casting, and he's already a little too old now, but he's younger than Alan Rickman was when he took the role, would be Andy Lincoln from The Walking Dead. Give him a prosthetic schnoz, hug him up a little bit.
I don't know.
He can be menacing.
Thin, gaunt face, and he's a damn good actor.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
You know, I have a lot of issues with Lithgow's casting, though. First of all, shouldn't be an American. We shouldn't be getting that many Americans in this thing, and especially shouldn't be getting an American for such an iconic role in the show. You want to hire an American to play Sprout or Albus's brother or whatever, fine. But also, another issue is I can't see John Lithgow without seeing his role in Dexter, and it just ruins the actor for me.
Watch The Crown. Watch The Crown.
No. I was about to say, if you saw The Crown where he played Churchill, that's insane. And his accent never slipped.
No, the issue is on the principle. He should be British on the principle of it all.
No, that's ridiculous. That's like saying you have to be a gay guy to play gay. No,
it's
different. Yes, it's the same thing. That's the same thing. So I also point to The Accountant, where he plays the bad guy in the movie. Like he's bad behind pulling the strings, kind of like how Dumbledore does for the whole series. He does a good job there too. I think that plus the Crown roles were too good that show he would be a good Dumbledore.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, I see what you're saying, but if they're gonna lift the ban on only British actors, then I say it's open season for anybody as long as they can pull off a consistent and convincing British accent throughout the whole thing. And it can't be a generic one. If you're doing a certain region, it has to be specific and stay that way. Because I like listening to British people critique fake British accents. And like you're doing like Cockney and then you're doing this and it doesn't, those accents don't blend together. But at the same thing with the Brits playing American, Brits are better acters because they can all do American. They all do Southern. All they do is freaking these Alabama. Well, hey there.
Where is my British guy doing a Bostonian accent? Come on.
Andrew Spider-Man.
Dan Stevens in I think A Walk Among the Tombstones. Do you know Dan Stevens? He was in Downton Abbey. He was Matthew Crawley in Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Actually, was pretty good.
And The Guest.
Yeah, he's done a lot of American accents. He's not bad.
Robert Downey Jr. He does a great British accent.
Yeah,
very true.
Robert Downey Jr. would be a great man. He would have been a good Snape, but
He has a good Australian accent.
Attractive.
Allison's like, nah.
Well,
they could have doctored him up.
He does an amazing third accent that you can only see in one movie, Tropic Thunder. His accent that is fantastic.
Chaplin?
Or Sherlock Holmes.
Chaplin? What the heck? No,
he said Australian accent. He meant Australian accent. That's what he said.
When I saw chat, I thought Robert Downey Jr. was British this whole time. I'm like, he's British. When I was a kid, it was like, that's how convincing he was in that movie.
Well, that role got him the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes films. Because he did such a convincing accent, and it was great. Like right alongside Jude Law.
Liked those. So many people hate on those. I loved all. What there's 3 of them, or was there only 2?
Only two.
Yeah, I think there was supposed to be a 3rd one, and they never got it off.
Yeah, the second one just didn't know it was up to snuff.
Honestly, I think Sherlock kind of made people annoyed a little bit because Sherlock overstayed its welcome, and so when a third, they released around the same time. And you could definitely tell Sherlock released a little bit after, and you could definitely tell Sherlock was taking its cues from the Guy Ritchie films. And so, but because the Sherlock show stuck around for way too long, probably everyone is about Sherlock Holmes out. So I don't think anyone really wants a 3rd one.
Your Holmes fatigue.
Well, Ryan Kennel broke some news. Report Forrest Whitaker's in talk to play Matt Mooney in the new HBO series.
I would be okay with this.
It works.
I would be okay with this casting. Not because
actually would be non-jokingly. I think that would be great casting.
No, it'd be great.
I love Forrest Whitaker.
It's like Saw Gerrera in Rogue One is basically Mad Eye. A little unhinged, a little bit extreme, but like he's seen some shit. So I would love that. That'd be amazing.
You'd have to have Mad Eye Mooney actually say that to one of those kids.
You would need to pick
I've seen some shit.
for some of the more Disney movies, to be honest, this has. I assume that this must be a joke. He must be trolling here.
Yeah,
he's no way the fuck to be casting Mad Eye this early.
No.
The thing is, a lot of people didn't know that.
That's why I need to clarify. That's why I need to clarify.
It's Urkel.
Hey,
oh man, I grew up on that show. Oh god, no.
Precious. Good boy,
Kevin Hart is Hagrid. Here we go.
Stop casting Kevin Hart in things, please, for the love of God.
He's a little short.
Yeah.
Like a rocket. No relation.
Okay.
Oh man, Reba McEntire as Molly Weasley. Can you fucking imagine?
I thought Helen Mirren would be a great McGonagall.
Yeah,
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic.
Don't know what they were thinking with the McGonagall casting either, but
I think
Helen Mirren too.
She's an all right actress, a little less well known. Maybe they couldn't afford Helen Mirren, or Helen Mirren may not have wanted to commit to such a long contract.
Maybe she's a diehard fan.
Yeah, she would not survive it because the show is going to last.
Maybe she saw the writing on the wall and was like, as a fan, was like, nope.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Now another good post from Ryan Kennel. I'm going to bring that up. So he quote tweeted another Ryan, and this Ryan says, "This is the exact description of Snape in the book. He has greasy black hair, a hooked nose, and shallow skin. None of that point, huh?
Sallow, not shallow. Yeah, it means yellow.
I don't care what I said. Sallow skin. You want to read, buddy? I'll share this. Go for it. Right. None of the points specific. None of that points to a specific race of person. I think his response was perfect. I've actually read all the books, unlike you, so I'll help you out. Snape is described several times as pale, multiple times as having pallid and sallow skin. Once as the color of sour milk, and since that isn't even enough, it's described quite literally as marble white during his last confrontation with Voldemort in the Deathly Hallows. Hope this helps, you retarded fuck. I'm not going to leave that out.
That's so funny.
Ryan Kennel.
Hail Ryan Kennel. I hope we can sing karaoke with him in Vegas. That'd be great.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, I got some songs planned for you, man. But yeah, he's exactly right. People forget that like the initial description of a character is not the only time a character is ever described, and Alysun can probably speak to this. You describe the character's mindset, what they look like, how they behave at every single point as you're telling the story. So yeah, so sallow skin. Okay, yeah, that looks kind of death-like. Well, the only way that the filmmakers are going to be able to make that work is to whiten up Paapa Essiedu's face, and that's not going to go well for the woke crowd, now is it? But the fact that these people,
I don't know,
plumbing onto one statement.
What are the rules on white face? I don't think there are.
Hate it. No, they hate it because one of the biggest
White Chicks is a great movie. It's a classic.
It is a great movie. But here's the thing. They went after the child actor for Nani in the live action Lilo and Stitch movie because she looked too light skinned.
No.
We're gonna get into Lilo and Stitch.
Well, that's the thing. It's Nani, and the girl that they cast is a native Hawaiian, but the woke crowd was still attacking her because you don't look dark enough. They did the same thing for Lee Gomez, the one who played America Chavez in Doctor Strange Mom, where they said that she was too light skinned. The girl and they attacked her relentlessly on Twitter for it. That's why I always reminded them, like, didn't you attack a child? Because she's like 15 at the time. Article number 3. They also went after the studio for allegedly lightening up the skin for the girl playing Astrid in the How to Train Your Dragon live action movie. Because she is half black. She is the daughter of Tandy.
So they think they lightened her up to play the white character.
Yeah, and
blue-eyed character.
Yeah. Well, maybe in post, because if you compare her skin color in The Last of Us TV show where she's playing a white character, Sarah, Joel's daughter, her skin is a lot darker in there than it is in any of the live action How to Train Your Dragon stuff that I've seen. Her skin is significantly darker.
There's one with everything you just told me. There's one problem. You said it's the woke crowd, and I don't want to use that word anymore. Let's just call it what it is. From everything that you're saying, that just sounds like straight racism. So that's cool.
Yeah. I was like, you can, but the door only ever swings one way. You can recast white characters to the moon and back, but when you dare cast someone who's just a shade lighter than the other guy, than the actual character, even if it's a darker character, you get accused of racism, you get accused of whitewashing, you get accused of X, Y, Z. There's no pleasing these people, but unfortunately, Warner Brothers definitely seems like they're trying to please those people.
And that's even when the character is the actual ethnicity of the character they're playing, like in Lilo and Stitch. They just don't happen to be dark complected enough to fit the character. Okay.
Yeah. You can't please these people. They'll go after anything.
I do want to talk about Lilo and Stitch because I watched that trailer today and I thought it was great. They're actually doing everything they need to do to print money. Disney and all these studios, HBO and Warner Brothers, has money printing machine right there with Harry Potter. All they have to do is do Harry Potter exactly like it's supposed to be in the book.
Yep.
You don't have to check any boxes to bring in new fans of new ethnicities and everything. They're already there. They already love it. That's why they're complaining about it online. They already like it, and they liked it the way it was for what it was.
I love, and I say I love out of sarcasm, I love this whole fucking concept of we're going to try and bring in new fans. Hey, guess what? The older fans, most of us have children. I've got 4. I would introduce all 4 of them to everything I'm into. That's 4 new fans you just picked up. All these older fans would introduce their kids to this shit. You don't have to change anything.
In fact, it's kind of presumptuous to think that we need you to change anything for what? Because you're appealing to us. You're appealing to the people who are already established as fans. Because what was the one thing that they said? And I completely agree. I was actually very much looking forward to it. And I've said this for years. Harry Potter needs it needs a TV show treatment because especially you get the Deathly Hallows alone is like 3 seasons because you go through so much history, so much character backstory, so many interactions. Like and that's what I love about those books. J.K. Rowling is
months of camping
when it comes to setting up the history. I want to see that on screen. But I want to see some other things expanded upon. Like my solution, I never want to criticize about offering a solution. Kingsley Shacklebolt's role could be expanded because the guy later becomes Ministry of Magic. Think about this. The guy is in the Ministry of Magic during a power struggle between the weakened Ministry and the Voldemort crew. He somehow remains out of prison and somehow rides that line between the two. How cool would that be to see like an Andor style subplot with so much intrigue and him trying to suss out who is a Death Eater and who isn't, or maybe who may be under the Imperious curse and who isn't. That'd be so cool. I would love to see that if adapted correctly. But that's what they promised us at a proper, like a faithful adaptation. That's what's going to bring in fans. This does not tell us this. So how presumptive of you as a creator to assume that anything needs changed. For what? You've already got your audience. Give us what you promised.
Yeah, it goes back to what I said. They already have the tools that they need to just print money. And like you were saying, with all the extra lore that they could expand upon within the series, that could give way to spin-offs, mini-series, and other things. But let's kind of go around the horn and gauge everyone's confidence or enthusiasm just based on what we know so far. And we'll start with our special guest, Alysun. How are you feeling about it? Is this something you're going to be wanting to check out day one?
The Harry Potter series?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I grew up with the series, and to say I was a fan it's not accurate enough. I was like one of those die-hard fans that lived on the website until the next book
midnight
came
releases.
out, the midnight releases, and I was a fan fictioner.
Oh,
so that was me.
Oh, you're one of those.
I was one of those.
Alvin, were you on Pottermore?
I was on Pottermore when it came out. I was a beta. Okay.
Nice.
Fellas watching, this is the biggest misconception. They're acting like female nerds have never existed. She's been among us the whole time. There are plenty. Trust me. I'm married to one too.
Yeah.
I was a diehard Harry Potter fan. So I probably will watch it no matter what, at least to see what's going to happen. But it is irksome, They promised a faithful adaptation and they're already deviating from that.
Yeah.
Yes, in a very large way. I think with any other casting, this could have just been, oh, well, it's to be expected in today's, climate. This is what happens. If it was Sirius Black, Lupus, any of the other characters, but it's how badly it affects the story. Theo, are you going to be ready to watch?
Yeah, dude. Now that I'm making content, I'm really excited every time somebody announces an adaptation of a popular property. Because it's going to give me a lot to talk about. I'm super happy. Anytime people are pissed off on the internet, that gives me something to fucking farm engagement with. Yeah, I'm super stoked. By the way, real quick, maybe you guys can clear this up because you guys are fans of the franchise. How come nobody ever gets pregnant at Hogwarts? Because they got all these
Wizard sex is
overnight. They got all these hot professors now, and also the girls can go into the guys' dormitory.
Okay.
No problem.
No, they can't. No, they cannot. If you go into a guy's dormitory, the stairs turn into a slide.
No.
Isn't it fetus
the girls'
deletus?
dormitory. The girls can go the other way.
No, it's both ways.
It's both ways. Okay.
Sure?
Nope.
Allison,
but
explain.
The abortion spell is fetus deletus, right?
Oh God.
Okay. Let me explain it this way, though. Let me explain it this way. In Harry Potter lore, wizards took forever to develop toilets because they're used to just wizarding away the poop. They would just spell it away. They do that same thing to other things, but they failed to remove the wand.
So, is that? I don't know. It's just how come nobody's pregnant. I don't want to derail. This was just my question. As I'm
maybe because they're a lot older.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with the magic, but actually that would be, if they're really modernizing this, it might have like a whole subplot of, there's the pregnant girl at Hogwarts. Here comes Jenny up again.
Some guy's going to be pregnant because he was a woman before and he says the universe inside. Yeah.
Maybe.
JK's like, what the fuck did you just do?
No. There's a anti-pregnancy force field around the castle. That's got to be what it is.
Well, do they sell that? Can I get one of those?
It's called a diaphragm, Theo.
See, I don't need one.
You are the anti-pregnancy field.
Thankfully, J.K. Rowling did solve an issue for one of her biggest problems. We all know that J.K. Rowling has a huge issue with one specific demographic. It's a magic universe. She's got the solution built in.
And that is?
You just cast a spell and nobody's got that sensitivity anymore. No one wants to go in that direction anymore.
Okay.
Are they going to rename that Korean chick? Because I
was expecting a bigger
that Chinese chick. Are they going to rename her?
Cho Chang.
Yeah, because they named that's like, because I heard somebody explain this to me. They gave the Chinese character 2 Korean last names, which is like naming a French character Garcia Sanchez. Are they gonna fix that?
I wonder.
Also,
the Jewish kid, Anthony Goldstein, which is hilarious.
We don't know if he's Jewish. He's not a goblin.
No,
he's Jewish.
He's Jewish.
I mean, yeah, she said he was. She's like, yeah, I've got a Jewish student, Anthony Goldstein. They're like, you've got to be fucking kidding me, which is it's hilarious. But yeah, the goblins. That's the thing. That's what I'm wondering, because the goblins are going to be introduced like the very first scene, not the very 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 early on. Are they going to suddenly say they're Jews again, like they did with black people and orcs? Because I cannot wait for those articles to come out and for them to for the mask to be ripped right off. This is going to be brilliant. All the right people are going to make themselves look so stupid.
We know how subtle Warner Bros. Are, so do you think they're going to change the nose shape of the house elves?
Oh.
That's a good question, actually. Now, speaking of the house elves, they can finally do that whole storyline that got just completely erased from the books. That'll be interesting. I found it extremely annoying in the books. It was one of my least favorite parts. Yeah. But at the same time, when they left it out of the movie, I was disappointed.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Especially,
living in the American South, I honestly believed the house elf plight entirely. I totally believed them and thought it was very realistic.
Well, it's also kind of funny because the house elves play a
liability, you know that.
Over that.
Well, that's why I tried to send you the other joke. I guess I shouldn't.
Sid patches all sorts of things. You should.
Now, I guess this is kind of related, but not really. But it kind of falls into the same category, because this is what started. When was Rachel Zegler's casting as Snow White announced? Over 3 years ago? A year ago?
It feels like
that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, it feels like an eternity. I can't believe this stupid movie hasn't just came out yet. And apparently,
they're canceling all the premieres.
Yeah, they just want to get it over with.
They need to get this over with.
So, here's the thing. So and I knew they were going to have to do something, since she's not Snow White because her skin was white as snow. She's Snow White because she was a powerful infant that survived a bitter snowstorm.
Yeah,
I'm not making that up.
Yeah, he's right.
In the trailer.
Yeah, I think they adapted that from Once Upon a Time, didn't they? But like Snow White was still white in that one, so I don't know.
Well, no, I think she's actually Snow White because her father was just really into snow.
Let me get this here.
Well, he was Colombian.
And rich.
You're just dragging me down to your low level. I'm trying to be
I didn't
professional
make you say
now.
That.
You want to get about
me?
Yes, but I can't
myself. Damn it!
You're worried about me, huh?
But this goes back to the thing with Snape's casting. It's like, even though Disney swear for reals and for serial that the only reason Rachel Zegler was cast is because she was the perfect actress, and they auditioned all actresses, but they already wrote into the script a reason for her not to have her name the way it was originally. So it was all bullshit. So this is what I'm afraid of. Going back to Harry Potter, they already have planned to adapt and change elements of the story and the backstory to make everything fit. And all it's going to do, it's going to end up making it just offensive and unwatchable. I'm going to try to give it a chance. And if it's good, I'll watch it. If it's bad, I'm definitely going to watch it. Theo knows what I'm talking about.
I just want to point out that they race swapped Snow White to a Latina and then gave her a song about cleaning.
I didn't even think about that. Oh my God.
I'll only watch this if I'm watch partying it with somebody.
Yeah.
I will not give Disney a view from me. It's not happening.
Did anybody see the clip the other day that they released? It's really bad.
Wait,
what was the
for
clip?
Snow White? Yeah.
For Snow White, yeah.
If you want to find it.
Yeah, let me find it real quick.
The musical clip?
No, it was actually just a clip of the queen and her talking. It's just so bad.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet.
So does anybody know what's going on between Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot? I guess they are
exactly why
Gal's babe, Zegler's not. That's all you need to know.
Well, okay, so Gal Gadot was in the Israeli Defense Force, and Rachel Zegler has been adamantly supportive of Palestine on Twitter because she's a woman in her 20s. So she just downloaded that from the fucking Sisterhood hive mind and decided to repeat it. This is really important. We need to take a stand. I thought of this myself.
Right.
Well, so she plays every woman in my college.
So she played a white character for 2 hours. She plays a white girl for 2 hours.
Private chat.
She plays a white girl for 2 hours and she already has white savior guilt. Come on.
Yeah. Well, it's just so funny because like you can't. I mean, surprise, surprise. The Israeli woman who spent time in the Israeli Defense Force, which, by the way, every adult has to do in Israel, is pro Israel. A surprise, a fucking surprise. A mature person. Well, I don't even need to finish that sentence because that's not who Rachel Zegler is.
Oxymoron.
Like, any one of us would be like, okay, fine. I'll leave that alone. I'll just for the sake of entertaining peace and cooperation, and and like forming a nice little coalition, a united front for our film. No, but as you said, Theo, she is a woman in her mid-20s who just had the next current thing downloaded into her brain. Therefore, she has to make enemies of everybody for some reason.
Let's not forget the other reason she's being dropped is because she is an unbearable cow. Everyone despises her to her core, so nobody is going to watch any promotional material with her because they will remind you of who she is.
Hey, you're insulting cows who actually have a use in society.
I'm so sorry. You're right.
You're right. Cows have multiple uses in society.
I know.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right. I got it.
Well, you're right, because the fact that she was a cow should be found attractive by Israelis. I mess a simpler.
It's a generational thing too. I can't just blame it on the fact that she's young and stupid because we all were. But when I was young and stupid, I knew I was stupid. And a lot of young people today don't know how to just. I don't know anything about this, so I will just shut the fuck up until I do.
Yes.
That used to be just a very normal thing from the 90s through the early 2000s. Now that shit is gone.
Yeah, it's even older than that. Marcus Aurelius says you always have the right to have no opinion.
Yeah,
and actually.
That's good.
Well, also going to what's constantly talked about, Theo Snodgrass' excellent show, Touch Grass. The huge problem is most people in my generation, because she's only a year older than me, most of us are pretty freaking narcissistic and we think we're God's gift. So we have to constantly talk about everything because we know more than you old people do.
Yep.
This is why us old people keep inviting you on these shows because you're one of the young ones that will just say that true. We all know it. They know it too, but they pretend like they lie and gaslight. No, we're just our generation's more informed.
Vaughn
you're
would
not.
never admit to that. Vaughn would never admit to it.
Well, Vaughn's not.
Vaughn is a psychopath. We've established this. He destroys cars. He just happens to also write a great book that everybody should buy. Phenomenova. It's hard to say, but it was my favorite book of 2024.
Battsauce? No, I don't know Battsauce. This time it's true.
I don't know. Heroic Tales is pretty good too. You need to check that one out.
Heroic Tales, I did, and I loved it. It's on my top. I'm gonna do a whole of all the books I read in 2024, a whole tier list.
Oh, nice.
And my top 2, I've already gave that away. It's TMNT, The Last Ronin, and Phenomenova.
I need to read The Last Ronin.
The Last Ronin's so good.
It's incredible. All right, let's get into it.
Is this going to get copyright?
Yeah, you might want to pause.
You were saying. It's just.
Okay.
First of all,
who's the fairest of them all? I don't know. The one in the witch makeup. How does that make Gal Gadot hotter?
Because
of your relationship with your mother.
Goth horror mommy. That's why.
I would suck those rings off of her fingers like that one scene from the Robin Hood animated movie.
Wow. Oh,
Selena, you're going to need to take a good half an hour to yourself tonight.
God,
clear the poison, because you are almost unbearable to be around. You know it?
Can you guys take a cold shower before we shoot the pod next time?
For real, my God.
God damn.
I love that reference.
Soundboard.
You haven't seen any classic film in existence, but you've seen Robin Hood enough, and you remember it enough to know that he's like sucking off the jewels in his teeth.
So what do we think so far of like the looks, like the costuming? What do you think?
Well, just looking at that butterface right there.
Well, Lady Farquaad certainly has some demeanor.
Lady Farquaad.
The thing is, like, Gal Gadot is actually trying here. She's trying to be this very Shakespearean villainess, but
that's
like,
kind of funny that you say
Rachel
that. There's
Zegler
a lot.
isn't even trying.
There are a lot of comments right now during this clip. Everybody's dogging her acting. They're like, she cannot act.
Gal Gadot's a bad actress.
Yeah,
I'm
saying she's a horrible actress.
But compared to Little Miss Downtown LA on a Tuesday night, like she's fucking Helen Mirren.
Right. Okay, let's play a little more.
Well, Gal Gadot's been getting a lot of heat for a while just for the fact that she's Israeli.
Yeah,
was in the Israeli military, and right now it's extremely fashionable to hate the Jews.
Interesting how that works. Let's not do that anymore.
Your Majesty, people are struggling, and it may not be much, but when I was young, my parents and I would pick apples. We'd take them and make pies, then go out into the village.
Pies are luxuries. They don't need luxuries.
Pause.
It confuses.
Okay, we just need to increments. Remember, we don't want to get.
Nope, you're right. You're right. Thank you. Right off the bat, I feel like I'm watching a Community play.
Yeah. Oh, and
I will
not from
say
the
her
TV
voice
show.
as the queen
right.
is very convinced. It's very not normal to her normal voice. Her soft,
and it's
breathy voice. It
good.
sounds good.
Even her, she just seems like the oldest gal working the Community plays that just hasn't realized it's never going to happen. She's the best actress in a very small pond, is what I'm seeing when I watch this.
Well, you see, but also Rachel Zegler gets to act out her savior complex and her insistence on being the revolutionary.
Oh. Diana, dear God.
Yeah.
That's good.
Remember, just like play a little bit, stop, play a little, stop.
All right.
7 seconds.
But sometimes something small, something sweet even can make you believe that there's more to being alive than mere subsistence.
You know, I really don't remember you being this opinionated.
She almost called her a bitch.
She's not
being such a bitch.
She's not the worst I've ever seen. It's not Wonder Woman. No, but I mean, it's not great.
I thought she was fine as Wonder Woman.
I did too, but like her line delivery sometimes is like, ew, that wasn't great.
But wait, what I liked about what I was able to get over that was because she was around this island of women her whole life. So like talking to people in different, different cultures is hard for her. That's why I was able to get around that.
You know, I couldn't believe her acting.
Till Death podcast just rated us, you guys.
Holy crap! Thank you, Till Death podcast.
Hey,
I have to admit, I'm a little distracted. I can't really focus on her acting because I'm distracted by what she's doing with her hands.
He wishes it was his Jones.
You just stop that right now. Just stop it. Don't encourage him.
I'm trying to spell out for the people who didn't get it.
I have to take a little bit of a gripe here with the people who call Rachel Zegler unlikable. I have to say she can't be that unlikable because I'm not attracted to her.
And here I thought you were gonna have an earnest compliment. Silly me.
What about Frank?
Nope.
What a Frank comment.
No,
My apologies.
She looks like one of those younger women that you ever run into somebody and you just think, oh my God, I hope I don't have to have a conversation with you ever.
Yeah,
all the time.
Like you see her behind the counter at the Starbucks or coffee shop, wherever you're going, sandwich shop to get your order. It's like, I'll come back. Because it'll take an extra 10 minutes. Checking out is going to be 10 minutes. I'll never get back.
It's just, I feel they need some kindness.
Slap her.
Fearless, fair, brave, true. How quaint.
All right, enough of that.
Okay.
What is her armor? Is her clothes made out of metal? What the hell was that?
Was anybody else really annoyed that every move she made, it seemed like they pumped up the volume?
Yeah.
It was like the squeaky chair skit from SNL.
Yeah.
Squeaky leather.
I'm in the sound studio right now. This is her sound effect.
How many keys do you have in your pocket, woman? Damn.
Alysun, what do you think? We'll start with you.
This whole time, so I followed this whole Snow White thing from the beginning because I love the Disney movies, and that whole scene was super, as my kid would say, super cringe. Just the sound of the like you said, the leather, just it's too much. They're trying too hard and not trying at all.
Yeah. Are you a fan of like the live action at all?
Of Snow White I liked the live action Snow White, or not Snow White. What was it? What was it?
Cinderella.
Cinderella was good.
Great.
Beauty and the Beast. I liked Beauty and the Beast. But this one doesn't look. Yeah, and the dwarves.
Oh, let's not talk about this.
Well, we ended up actually getting dwarves. We weren't going to.
It's true.
The 7 Seattle baristas.
Peter Dinklage, you were going for that ladder, Theo, and Peter Dinklage just kicked it right out from under you, didn't he?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. It wasn't
step stool. Going for that step stool.
Not.
Don't feel bad. I couldn't even reach the ladder if I tried anyway.
Theo, what do you think from watching the clip? You think this is going to be popular?
Oh no, I think this is going to be excruciating. So this is I think what is Disney needs to learn their lesson. And part of the problem is that a lot of the stuff that's coming out now is the stuff that they've had in development for a few years. So it's going to take a while for the course correction to be kind of evident to the public. And we're seeing it with some of the straight to streaming stuff. But yeah, this is a problem. And and also part of it's like, I don't know. I think a lot of the people who are coming up and wanted to be movie stars, they wanted to be movie stars because being a movie star really meant something. You had your opinion mattered because you had box office pull, right? But now people are coming out to see intellectual properties. Like they could have had my left hand playing Snow White and probably gotten a better turnout because what's driving people to theaters is the intellectual property, right? They don't really care who the actor is. And Rachel Zegler doesn't realize that. She thinks she's the most important person in the room and that her opinion matters. And I think what she's finding out is that isn't true. Oh, man. So I'm hoping that this will be instructive for other people who want to make movies in the future.
I think go ahead.
Snow White, too. I mean, Snow White is what made the Disney company. It
100%.
If Snow White did not exist, we would not have Disney today. And Snow White, ironically, could be the movie that breaks the Disney company.
It's extremely ironic. I mean, I think this is going to be their biggest disaster to date, and they've had quite a few. Their Peter Pan was a disaster. A lot of these live actions, like I think you were asking Selena, which ones were good. I can only think of a few. I liked the Maleficent movies because at the time, anyway, everything about it was different. It was a switch, Maleficent was actually the hero by the end of the story. It was a little different. And little did I know that was going to be the trend to go with everything moving on. You couldn't have a female villain. They're always going to be sympathetic. The Queen might be the exception in this movie.
Yeah.
Hey, Battsauce.
Hey, what's going on? How's everybody doing?
Pretty good, man. How's the car?
Yeah. Yeah. The car. Yeah.
Are you old enough to drive yet?
What? Get out of here. I just had my second kid, man.
I love how everybody else gets the young jokes instead of me, even though I am objectively the youngest.
Yeah, but you get the gay jokes.
Oh, good point. And I got
you can't have them both. Don't be greedy.
Good point.
Now you're kind of coming in late to the party. Just before we get too far away from Harry Potter, what are your feelings about Snape? Were you a fan? Does this affect you at all?
Oh, me?
Yeah,
Snow White. Talking about Snow White. Yeah. Well, so Rachel Zegler, great option for a live action Korra. I think great option there. No, I was listening to you guys before, man. Gal Gadot is the worst actress ever. The whole oh man, her accent's bad, even though everyone else around me on the island and Wonder Woman speaking just fine. It's like, yeah, it's also recorded with the camera where they can have takes and they could just be like, oh, that one didn't work. Let's try it again.
That's not a
Let's try it
thing.
again. Until they get to the point where they're like, wow, you're so bad. Let's just fuck it. I don't want to spend any more time on this. But yeah, the whole thing's going to be a complete train wreck.
Now, what's your stance on the Severus Snape from Harry Potter casting?
Silly, man. I mean, it's not too much of a surprise with how much of like libtarded fucking J.K. Rowling is, but except for that one thing that she's not. And she gets crucified for it. But I don't know. It's just silly. I don't care too much about Harry Potter. It's a stupid decision. And yeah, I don't know. Not that unpredictable.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for joining us, Battsauce. Good having you.
I'm just kind of sad that like my video, as far as I know, is the only one that has used Black Snape Moan as the title. Shame.
You know,
really.
Yeah,
it's right there for the taking, and you got it. So
I know. I was like, surely not. Yeah.
Now we're gonna have to watch this with no audio and lots of pausing. So let me go ahead and pull that up because this is like, all right.
Sorry,
that's
certainly a choice.
I was thinking Black Snake Moon instead of Black Hole Sun from Soundgarden. Black Snake Moon.
All right. So we talked about all the weird decisions that they make that just they're self-sabotaging. When you have a property that everybody loves and all you have to do is just redo it in live action. But not exactly as it is. And from what I'm seeing here, it looks like they had one brief moment of sanity because everything about this looks perfect. Again, I can't share any audio.
Yes.
Fantastic. You might want to pause still just for visual.
Wow. Look at the alien.
Let me go back to the alien.
Alien design is perfect.
Wait till you see the two on Earth.
Okay, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks probably wet.
It looks right out of the cartoon.
Yes.
And the voices all sound amazing, except for Bubbles, which is not Ving Rhames.
It's not Ving Rhames, no. Oh, but you look at the ship design, right? Oh, that's the thing. I love the Lilo and Stitch ship design. It's
even
so
the human actors, Lilo and Nani, they sound amazing. Sound great.
I actually thought Lilo. I thought that it was the same voice.
I thought so too.
I was blown away.
Yeah, the chase. Yeah,
that original voice was I think her name was Tia Carrera. She was a big
from Wayne's World
actress. Yeah, from Wayne's World and a lot of stuff. Really big in the 90s and early 2000s.
Sandra.
Yes.
Yeah, she'd just be a little too old now. She's still rocking in her mid to late 50s, but
yeah,
I'd be okay with it.
Oh yeah.
Can we do sound or not?
I cannot do sound, unfortunately.
Okay. He's monetized now, man. He can't do sound.
Yeah, but no, like it's one of those things where
Anybody complaining about this little kid, I don't know. I don't get it.
They need to go fuck themselves.
Cute little Hawaiian girl.
Yeah.
Like she's not as pudgy as the little girl from the.
And her hair is longer, but adorable, adorable.
Well, okay, so obviously they should fatten her up, right? That's what
I think so. No. My point was going to be it was a cartoon and it was stylized, so you're not going to hit those exact. That animator that worked for Disney for a long time has a very specific style. You can always he always makes things a little.
If you notice,
Nani
had a little pudge too.
People.
Nani had the old pudge.
Well, what you're saying really is the problem with adaptation. Lilo has a very remarkable design. And as for this girl, she looks good for a live action Lilo, but she doesn't look anything like Lilo.
If you hear her, you wouldn't care.
I mean, but if you put her just visually, if you put her along a million other Polynesian girls, none of them would really look like Lilo because they're not the right kind of character design. That's just the problem with adaptations in general.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, especially stylized cartoons like that. It's like when you try and adapt an anime, you're never going to find a living person that looks just like that character. Mm-hmm. I think this is as close as it's going to get. She's a cute little Hawaiian girl. That's all you needed.
Counterpoint that one guy who plays Constantine in the TV show. He literally looks like Constantine in the comics.
Oh, yeah.
That's different.
Matt Ryan. He's fantastic.
A lot of those comics, though, weren't as overly stylized.
Mm-mm.
so a little more realistic art style, so that it's a little easier to hit the mark. But even this scene right here, even the side characters, the other kids, look like the kids from the cartoon.
She's
no, she's not a redhead.
The glasses?
That girl's not a redhead.
Yeah,
we got some issues here.
Right. Oh, they made her a white blonde pretty girl. Of course they did.
Come on, like that's what makes her stand out. That's what makes her stand out, because everybody around her is Asian, and she is the only white kid with like that bright curly red hair in that whole. It makes her stand out.
The glasses too. She doesn't have the glasses.
Maybe
she does.
This might be
somehow she ascended to like leader of the bullies.
I mean, that was the most unbelievable part about the movie.
Let's just be thankful Disney didn't make her a black chick like they like to change gingers to black people.
We all thankful for that. Again, Hollywood, what did the Scottish and Irish do to you?
Unbelievable part of the movie. A white chick being the bully in Hawaii.
White chick,
especially being like the only one at that school. Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
totally went that way.
Hawaii's don't have
bully.
A ginger can even survive in Hawaii, because we do not tan well. We do not tan at all. We burn. And in an island known for a burning sun, that doesn't work. But
well, you see, the problem is Polynesians, they're very nice, passe, and kind of lazy. They don't have the drive to be bullies.
Whoa.
You ever been drunk with a Hawaiian?
First of all, my brother-in-law is from grew up in Hawaii, and also I dated a Hawaiian for a while. They bully the shit out of white people. Like,
I'm sure they do.
My mom lived in Hawaii for several years, and she's redheaded, so take that.
Have you not seen Saved by the Bell in Hawaii? I mean, come on.
You know me. That question is self.
Bully white people.
I practiced. I just wanted to. Oh, they even recreated the shot.
Dude, they recreated the whole scene with the laugh and everything.
It seems shot for shot so far.
Who the fuck is that?
That's awesome.
That's
just some guy that.
Yeah. Memorial Day.
I don't. Another thing, the attention to detail to the original cartoon. Look at the set design.
Yep.
It looks as close to the cartoon with the color schemes, everything, to the props on the desk. They made it look as close to the cartoon or their little apartment or whatever it was.
This is like the most excited I've been for.
I know. I will pay to see this.
I have to ask.
I'm going to see it. Yeah, I'm sure I won't have any problem getting her to go see it day one. I'm gonna go see this in the theater.
In the original one, Lilo climbs into a dryer to hide from Nani. Do you guys think they're going to keep that scene? Do you think they're going to completely scrap it, or do you think they're going to do what they did in the remake and have her climb into a cupboard with a pizza box?
They'll do the remake.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Yeah, because they edited that out, and it pissed off a lot of purists, and myself included. Because if your kid's dumb enough to crawl into a dryer, we should just.
We did in the 90s. We did in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I did.
I lived.
I was never the same.
Hopefully,
I really hope they. One thing I really hope they keep is the line where it says, his name is Stitch. Stitch? That's not a name in Iceland, but here it's a good name. No, that line just always cracks me up.
He digs his own nose with his tongue. Everything. There is one thing I think they did change, and I'll say it after they show it in the trailer.
Okay.
One big change.
Okay, now here's our first good look at the sister.
AOC?
I think
that's what I thought too.
It kind of looks like AOC.
I don't see the resemblance at all.
Especially doing this.
She's got the crazy eyes. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Theo
I know we can't hear it. I actually haven't seen this. Did they
rock hard right now?
Did they keep the music?
He's eating.
Yes. They do keep the music.
We can't. That's the other reason I can't play it at all throughout the whole thing is Elvis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's perfect. Yeah.
Even keep the Elvis. That's awesome. Okay, I'm really excited about this.
Is the one for when they're doing the medley and the montage in the movie? He's teaching him to be a good pet.
Yeah.
That's what they're putting the song about. I forget the name of it.
What was that?
Now the actress is playing the sister. It passes. She's not quite as pretty as the cartoon character made her sister out to be.
As long as she has the attitude, I don't care. Because like not even the cartoon is pretty.
And I thought you were going to say as long as she has the ass.
I mean, that doesn't hurt either. And
no,
like,
that's
this is You guys were there for movie night watching The Incredibles 2 with Strider. Let's just.
God,
very true.
A hot maternal redheaded mother.
She doesn't have the hips. She doesn't have the elastic.
Oh man!
Stop with simping, yo!
Oh man! Oh man!
Don't get a whole lot of redheads in my area, okay? God, I'm waiting for someone to answer my ad.
He sounds like what's his
boyfriend?
David.
Oh, yeah, that looks like a dork.
He's not hot enough.
He is a lot.
He's not hot.
He was a dork in the original.
Yeah,
but he
wasn't a dork.
hot.
In the original, that was Jason Scott Lee, the guy who played Liu Kang and Bruce Lee and Dragon.
Yeah.
Well,
The one thing I really hope I hope they keep his role in this because I mean he and Nani kind of have a just.
It seems like they are
kind of thing. But I really hope that he still gives them the idea to go surfing after the job hour.
It's funny you say that because in the trailer they go surfing.
Don't spoil it.
They go surfing.
I mean, they do go surfing, but it's David the one
they're going to keep it.
Reminds them that. I love that. It's like what was that? A cure for a sour face is a couple of babes and some choice waves, and then they look at each other and they have a nice little bonding moment. I really hope they keep that. It's a beautiful moment.
Well, at the end of the cartoon, that's when it shows that they had formed this unconventional family, and her and the kid, they finally got together because she wouldn't date him because she was too preoccupied with Leela, who was out of control, problem kid.
Yeah.
And relate.
So cute.
Attitude.
I have to say, he looks like Thor. Like if Thor was animated, that's like
It's not
for those new to the channel, that's our French bulldog. If he's on the couch, put him on. Hold on, let me.
There you go.
My name's Stitch.
How do I exit solo mode?
You should die in blue for Halloween.
Yeah, Paid in Blue is a dead ringer. Wow. How we to do
that was another one of my favorite scenes from the cartoon.
The part you just skipped with the hot wiring is what I'm talking about. They use a tricycle in the book. They chose a tricycle in the movie. I think they're going to use this instead. A power wheel.
Okay, sure, why not?
That change doesn't bother me.
No.
But it does kind of reduce the joke because that's what makes it that they're on the tricycle on the road and like Leela dramatically they both lower their sunglasses as they're riding past their dancing bullies and they're just like
you need to watch this with sound. It's really good.
It is
really
good.
Yeah. If we were just on
they did go surfing. Good.
I can't wait to hear Hawaiian roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh wait, this is
part right here. Yay! Okay, so there's Bubbles.
Oh, I know this actor.
There's
I didn't catch this my first watch.
The black guy
from He was from Law and Order, I believe. The name's right on the tip of my tongue.
Is that the guy from
I'll probably recognize
Banker from Lemony Snicket's thing?
He looks nothing like Bubbles.
I recognize the actor.
Wait, but this completely kills the joke.
Oh, Courtney B. Vance.
Yeah.
Oh,
from
okay.
NCIS.
Wait, he needs sunglasses.
Yeah, I like that.
He's a big boss for NCIS.
Hey guys, one at a time.
Sorry.
No, this completely kills the entire joke about Bubbles. He's got the shades on at all times. He's super buff, super masculine. Bubbles is supposed to be an absolute oxymoron to his name. It's supposed to completely juxtapose him. And yet I could believe this guy was called Bubbles on the weekend. I'd buy it.
Yeah,
Again,
he kind of looks like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys, only black.
The stylized art style made him big. Like, Ving Rhames isn't that big. You know,
you want to say that to Ving Rhames' face? He's a big, big
I
old
will.
dude. He's not like Michael Clark Duncan, God rest his soul.
No,
he's not as big as him.
No way.
You could get people who are big and muscular. You could put this guy in a muscle suit. There are so many different things you could have and should have done.
I agree.
Appearance.
It messes up the joke. You're right. And as much as I like Courtney B. Vance, I think he's a great actor. He's not big enough. He doesn't fit the part.
I'll reserve that for actually seeing
even
more
black
of him.
people don't always fit black people roles if they don't look like the character.
I can't tell from this angle, but I mean, he might be a big fucking black guy. But
he's
he
tall, but he's
definitely needs to
skinny.
be wearing the shades. Oh, he is.
Yeah, he's a skinny dude. I'm trying to think of like my mind always goes to Michael Clark Duncan, who would have been perfect for the role in live action. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head.
Well, Ving Rhames voiced him, so
Also,
Ving Rhames voiced him.
this guy looks like a social worker.
He does. Well,
and that's the problem.
He is a social worker.
That's the
That's
problem.
the thing. He's a social worker dressed as a man, as a typical Men in Black.
No, it's a Man in Black.
He's a
now
living
social
contradiction. That's what makes him funny and interesting.
Right.
Also, Mr. Bubbles doesn't have a mustache. Another problem. Shave that worm stash off. Dude's clean shaven.
He had to keep it for NCIS.
I got it. I got it. The answer was right in front of us, and how they overlooked this is beyond me. It's Terry Crews would have been perfect.
Oh, that would have been
Wait, can Terry Crews do serious though? Because he's got to be serious.
Yeah,
no, Terry Crews is extremely versatile. He is one of the best actors that is completely underused.
Yeah, he's got some really
he's
good
all of it. He's a bloodthirsty killer psychopath and gamer. He's fucking scary as shit.
Yeah, he can play hero, villain. There was a really underlooked kind of like a Punisher style movie that came out.
Yes.
I want to say 2020. That was great. He's everything he's in, he's good.
Yeah.
He's not just down to comedy. And Everybody Hates Chris was a comedy show, but it had a lot of dramatic moments for a sitcom. And when he played that, that dramatic dad role, he just went right into it and he did great. So he would have been the perfect Mr. Bubbles. Yeah, I'm not buying this at all.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, so watch this.
Oh.
Who's the Asian chick?
Who's that?
That's
FBI. Look at the windbreakers. It's FBI.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
FBI don't.
The guy in the front has it too. This is the two aliens, not these two. The
no.
Yeah.
No. Wait. Just watch.
Okay.
Just watch.
Look at that big old guy. He looks like he's right out of the cartoon.
He's the snow cone guy. Remember? The whole
Yo, they wear snow cone guy.
Look. You saw?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Wait, was the snow cone guy like a fat white guy?
They race swapped snow cone guy.
You're right. He was a fat white guy. He looked like a white Taurus.
And he had a white beater,
the farmer's tan on.
That's right.
Also, why is what is his name? Mowgli, whatever. Why isn't he fat? Like that guy is like slightly chubbed. The fat alien. Why is he not looking fat?
Oh,
Jumba.
Yeah,
in that picture though, in that scene they were wearing, they're using disguises.
But he should still be played by a fat guy. It should still be a fat guy.
I don't know. That's kind of
yeah. You would think they would cast actors that look almost like their cartoon counterparts as the aliens. It doesn't seem like they did that. But it's not perfect, but I don't. Nothing here is like killing it for me.
Right. To be fair, though, that could have not been the people they cast for the part for their voices, because it's Kevin McDonald. There's the skinny one. I can't remember the fat one, but Jumba. But that might have just been for that particular scene. They had just two random dudes as their image inducers was given.
Yeah, I just hope that's not a thing for the whole movie, because that's half of their fun is them being aliens and trying to spy and like blending in. That's half the joke, because Pleakley isn't capable of it.
That would be hard to translate to live action though, because people would see through that shit in no time. And animation, you can get away with.
You can see through it in the cartoon, but you can see through it in the cartoon. But that's the humor in it. It's so obvious.
I don't think it would translate. I don't think it would translate to live action though.
You don't think so?
It'd be too ridiculous.
It definitely would.
I got to agree with them. I think that it would be more charming to just see the cartoon, the aliens wearing fake beards and like trench coats and everything, and people just looking at them like.
I'm just thinking devil's advocate.
They've done it with like Scooby Doo, for example. They've done it plenty of times. Like Scooby Doo dressed up as a girl, and somebody's like, you know,
that's a complaint that critics had about the Scooby Doo movie. That could be what.
That wasn't. There was plenty of complaints about that. Wasn't one of them. No.
I didn't have that complaint. But I've seen critics have that complaint about the movie. Like, it was too unbelievable to have.
My guess is it was a budget thing because they have CGI Stitch throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
So it was probably, a budget issue.
So if they can cut corners by having them played by just actors as much as possible, since it's already, this is going to be a very CGI heavy movie. Anyway.
Like the first 15 minutes are going to be nuts.
I mean, it's
Billy Madison. He's in No Time to Die.
You saw the trailer, yeah.
Wait, Zach Galifianakis is Jumba. Oh my god, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm sorry, no.
Because Sonic, this looks like it's going to use less CGI than Sonic 1 did, and Sonic 1 had a budget of $95 million, even with the remake or with the reanimation.
Yeah,
but Snow White has taken all of their budget.
And Disney likes to cut corners wherever they can.
Yeah, and let's not forget also the MCU.
The more
they
crunch
ain't seen any of that money back.
Yeah.
Well, then they should still look like them, like human versions of those aliens.
Of them.
Like they could have done better casting. But either way, like my whole problem with this is all the animated or the live action animated stuff. It's like, well, what's the point? Like even if it is translated perfectly, like doesn't it enhance the experience?
Well, I think it goes back to like Gen X, like when we were growing up. Correct me if I'm wrong, Iron. Wasn't like a big conversation on your group of friends. Man, if these X-Men movies, the cartoon, this would be a movie. The DC, this would be like a live action movie. That was like a big thing in the 80s and 90s.
Always.
To want to see these properties in live action. Yeah. That's where it's coming from. But Disney's
with
fucking it all up. I think this they can knock on the park.
And guns and body parts flying. Not Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, here's the difference, Darnell. Those are comic books that were only adapted into maybe a cartoon series on Saturday morning. Most of them had not been turned into movies.
Right.
Now this was just a movie. It was a perfect movie too. The original cartoon, in my opinion, that between that and Emperor's New Groove, Disney traditional animation went out on a fucking bang. Both of those movies were flawless.
What's funny about Lilo and Stitch though is it was made completely in secret.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
But this is the problem with adaptations. To me, this comes off so soulless. It's a pig with a nice nice coat of paint. It looks fine,
really,
but
a pig with a nice painted coat.
It is completely devoid of the soul of Lilo and Stitch, and that's not an adaptation issue. We have adaptations that are very stylized, very focused on looking good. As bad as it was, the Cat in the Hat live action. We had the Scooby-Doo animated ones, which did a great job of capturing the aesthetic of Scooby-Doo. It was a choice to make this as homogenous and bland as possible because it saves them money. They could have made the styles. They could have done a practical suit for some of the aliens and made it look good. Even if they had to, they could have given Mr. Bubbles a muscle suit. There's so many choices they could have made that would have made it a proper adaptation. And people do like adaptations. They like seeing stuff live action because when it's live action, it just feels more real. And some people, like a lot of normies, will refuse to take animated movies seriously. They just won't do it.
Let me read Blue Eyed Scorpia's chat real quick. It's probably more like somebody that was put into an exec job that needs to produce and it's gone. to produce shit, but has no idea what they're doing. So they just go to live action. It requires no thought process. Yes, it's much easier to just adapt pre-existing material than to try and create something new and exciting that's going to be the next big thing. That's a big problem with all medium. Nobody's trying to make that next big new thing. It's how can we take something old and just repurpose Frankenstein it into something that'll make a little bit of money for a short amount of time.
Don't get me wrong, I still want to see it. It looks cute.
I do too. And I was going to say, Arza, those were some pretty harsh words for what I just saw, calling it soulless, everything else. Comparatively speaking to everything we did get, like The Lion King's completely soulless, Little Mermaid, all that. This one had definitely a lot more charm. Do you think it might be you're just a little bit jaded because everything has been so suck?
I think the fact that, because I can see places where they could have and should have put a lot more effort into it. I see where they did put effort, but I see where they didn't.
I can agree.
And I think they know that they've been screwing up. They don't know why. And this is them attempting to fix what they've been getting wrong for so long. So they're just going for the most superficial things. They're not looking at what actually made the first one so great, because while the story was fantastic, the animation was there to back up the amazing story, and the soundtrack was it was a perfect composition, and they're missing the key parts, and that just makes it feel like it's just drag and drop, and that's causing them to miss all the more important stuff.
So how do you feel? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask you what your thoughts are.
So what if they, I think, so they're making all these amazing, like these live action adaptations of Disney movies that were originally, like fantastic. But then they have so many that kind of fell flat, so to speak. Why can't they make live actions on like, what's that with the Black Cauldron?
Black Cauldron.
I know.
I was hoping you were going to say that. Yes.
Hunchback of Notre Dame would be amazing.
Yeah, they are making one on Hunchback.
They are making that.
Yeah.
Well, are they? Okay. Well, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
There were a bunch that just people forget even exist that they haven't touched.
Hunchback is my favorite. Don't
the Aristocats.
Hunchback is my favorite too. I would love a live action version. However, it would be all green screen. It would be all CGI. It would not have the weight. It would somehow lack the weight of it, despite being in real life. You have to put the thumb right there. So like they would not film on sets. Like Hunchback needs to be on a set. It needs to be shot on location. Then you need to actually make this feel real to make it believable.
I propose that they actually burn down France.
Okay. They'll actually do that.
Apparently, there's a group of people already on top of that. Ours, and you got to worry about, buddy.
It's like I just see the Black Cauldron being enhanced by live action.
Yeah,
I don't see. Hunchback being enhanced. I feel it should be a downgrade. Like even the mute,
feel like it would get
downgraded.
It would get neutered big time.
I had a thought. I have a theory on what you were saying. So like the ones like the Black Cauldron, the one that didn't do too well in theaters and aren't like their top, grossers, they're just kind of leaving those alone, right? So I have this thought that what they're trying to do is they do have new ideas, but they're holding on to them, right? So right now they're trying to just shit on and kill every billion-dollar IP to the point where no one's going to watch anymore. And then they'll be like, hey, look what we're putting out. And it's new stuff. So people aren't going to be like, well, that's not as good as Star Wars. That's not as good as Marvel. That's not good as Lilo and Stitch. I just have this feeling they have new shit. They're just holding it till they just destroy the older IPs to where
you're giving them way too much credit. Why would they do that?
That would only work.
There's no other explanation for why
they're lazy and stupid. That's all the explanation you need.
Have you guys seen Wish?
I don't even think someone in a special needs school is not smart.
Pay me to watch Wish.
What they're doing is not making any money.
Yeah. So
because they're stupid.
Alysun was asking if anybody's seen Wish. Anybody seen Wish?
No.
Couldn't pay me.
No.
So Wish was supposed to be. Wish was supposed to be their 100th year anniversary movie, right? Like it was a big deal, huge deal. And they dropped the ball in the most disappointing way possible. They cut out the original concept, had the traditional romance kind of brought back where the fairy godmother falls in love with the wishing star. And cut it, gone.
Well, also the villain is
That's
the
what gave
good
me a
guy in
thought
that
process.
movie. The villain is literally the good guy. But Darnell, to your point, I want to push back a little bit because Disney had the way to do that. And they broke that way when they made Disney Plus, which is when they should have been doing this thing that you're talking about. Right. They opened up the vault. If they wanted to kill the old IPs, the best way to kill an old IP is just to let it die, to let it age out of existence. You don't kill an IP by ruining it. You kill an IP by making it irrelevant. And so if they wanted to make the Disney stuff no longer prevalent and dead, they would have kept the vault shut.
I understand.
And only made the live actions available.
I understand, but let me give a counterpoint to that. You let something die, the memory lasts a long time, right? You remember the good things, you remember the nostalgia. If you just shit on it and destroy it, how many people here were Star Wars fans from way back in the 70s and 80s now don't even want to watch those movies because of what's been put out? They're destroying, they're going for a faster destruction of it so they could bring the newer shit out. Because Wish fucked them up. Wish was supposed to be what you said. But I have no doubt someone said, look, there's this, but then you got all these other things that are so high above it. So they're going to bring that down to this level, then release that new shit. It sucks. I mean, know that. That's why
the logic isn't there, man. At like what point do you have so many failures? Do you start to
on the chat? Come on.
Well, yeah.
What were you gonna say, Theo?
Oh, I was gonna say, the actress for the sister is really skinny. I was hoping they'd cast a higher calorie sister, maybe get some jiggle. That's what I was. I just didn't have a good chance to interject that. So
the cartoon sister was thick. She was drawn. They drew a lot of those characters. They knew what they were doing. These artists.
Theo, I have to ask, how do you feel about the Road to El Dorado?
I think you know how I feel about the Road to El Dorado.
I do. I 100% know how you feel about the Road to El Dorado.
Let's just list them all at this point, Mrs. Invincible.
Hold on. Diana's saying the podcast doesn't pass the Bechdel test, and I agree.
Right.
All right. Selena and Alyssa, say something to each other real quick. We'll make it artificially happen.
Real quick.
Wow. Thanks for that.
Okay.
Dick.
No, Road to El Dorado was a great movie. I'm glad you brought. That's one. I wouldn't care if they did that in live action if it wasn't, as Arza put it, just a soulless cash grab. If they just wanted to, it's just too bad the two actors that played the guys' voices are both too old to play the parts. Kevin Kline could have just thrown that costume on him and he would have been the character immediately.
Well, here's my
Kenneth Branagh's aged better, but he would still look way too old to do that. That's a very action heavy role. He wouldn't be able to do that.
Here's my other issue with live action castings. These animations are done with a kind of a caricature feel to them, but we have people who look very caricaturistic, and yet we refuse to hire based on these caricature type characteristics. Get somebody who looks kind of goofy, very emblematic of these groups that you're trying to get. Get someone who looks very Polynesian to play some of these people. Get someone who looks very touristy to play Snow Cone Guy. But they're so terrified of appearing racist, they won't cast people who look to be emblematic of the groups like they were drawn to be.
I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of just creates a very homogenous feel.
I want to make sure real quick. So one thing that's kind of crazy to me, Don Bluth. Is anybody familiar with Don Bluth?
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don Bluth.
Sadly. Traumatized.
I think better cartoons than Disney. I don't care. Also, those movies were more impactful. Yeah, we're a big fan of that. I'm a fan of all of his work. They were more impactful to me as a kid than anything Disney put out. And I liked the Disney movies as a kid. Don Bluth.
Yeah.
So that would be
Land Before Time,
Secret of NIMH, All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Go to Heaven, Anastasia.
He didn't do Titan AE, did he?
No. He did.
Yes,
he did. No, he did. He did Titan
Titan AE.
I love that movie. I'm sorry.
I don't think he did Anastasia, though.
Yeah.
He didn't do Anastasia.
Yeah.
Did not.
Did he?
He did.
Oh, he
did,
did.
yeah.
Yep.
No, I don't think he did because Disney owns Anastasia.
he
They don't own
No,
Don Bluth,
that
do
was
they?
Disney. That
No,
was
Disney
Don
doesn't
Bluth.
own
No.
Anastasia.
Now Don
DreamWorks.
Bluth did work for Disney for a time. He doesn't now.
He did the Fox and the Hound, the Rescuers, the original. Like he did a lot of the 70s into the early 80s films, and you can see it when you watch those movies. That when you go into the Don Bluth films, you're like, oh, that's Don Bluth's animation. You can tell.
Yeah.
Just like I was talking about, the artist from Lilo and Stitch has a very distinct style. I think he worked on Emperor's New Groove too. Don Bluth has a very you can see it in his Disney movies, and then you really see it in the movies that he did himself, like Land Before Time, Old Dogs Go to Heaven, all of them.
It's had a more practical look to it.
Yeah, it's very stylized. But yeah, he had it was simple. It wasn't, overly detailed, but he got the point across with it. Everything he put in there. All of his characters packed a punch. They all felt very alive, every single character. And what I think later, LG. I think his best work was also the 2 video games that he did, Dragon Slayer and Space Ace.
Oh,
for going on 20 years, I think he has had basically not quite like a GoFundMe, but trying to get investors so that he can do film adaptations of both these movies before he's gone.
Yeah.
And nobody is investing. It makes if I won the lottery today, that would be the first thing I would do, just because I want to see them. That was kind of my point. There's all of these things that are being untapped that the people in charge of these studios are just too stupid and just unwilling to look at. If they are not talented enough to come up with their own ideas, but they're too stupid to find something that is outside of the box that would really pack a punch, especially with the nostalgia bait of today's, that's what everybody's looking for.
I think it's more cowardice than stupid. They're too afraid of the failure of it to take the chance.
That's why I said they're destroying the older stuff to where people have nothing to watch. And then the only reason they're putting out is going to be seen as good.
But that only works.
I think it's so much simpler than that.
I'm not defending them. I'm just saying I think that's the plan.
That would explain Legend of Korra.
Fuck off, Battsauce. I will fight you on this. But I think that there's another reason that Don Bluth films might not be getting this adaptation treatment, and it's because Don Bluth films have a much stronger, universally true moral message.
Yes,
Don Bluth
they
films
always
are
have.
heavily rooted in Americanism, Christianity, and other universal storytelling things that are very Eurocentric. And that's something that Disney is terrified of. How do you adopt All Dogs Go to Heaven in today's climate? You'd have to strip the Christianity, and you'd have to strip the caricature of the Italian mob cats.
Well, I'm actually grateful that they don't go down that road. They don't need live action Don Bluth films at all.
I don't want them to
films
either.
Were beautiful as is, and they don't even need a remake. They don't need the endless garbage. What is it, like sequels? They don't need that either.
Yeah.
They were such beautiful films. He knew how to not only the art style and everything else, but it's the story that I mean, I was talking about it. They like you talk about moral storytelling. I feel like he was the one who, when you watch those movies, Bambi and stuff, it gets you in the feels. But those movies, like I always say, like the kids today, younger kids should watch those films because I think it helps with empathy, because it certainly appealed to me as a kid. I can't watch those movies half the time now. If I need a good cry, I'll go watch The Land Before Time. But
we're afraid to let kids feel anything.
Yes, it's about feeling, and I think that they kind of Disney dumbed it down. I mean, you've had the early movies, but I mean, Don Bluth really did show, how kids can handle emotion and what you can, like the losing of a parent. like in the Land Before Time. The history of an American Tale.
Land Before Time kicks the hell out of
Land Before Time does kick
like
the
losing
hell.
a parent. It's like losing a parent.
Yeah, I agree, but I mean, it was told differently. Like there was something about that what am I trying to say here? Like the mourning of a parent. It drug it out more.
It helped kids to cope with it better.
What? Let me ask real quick. Why do you cry about the dinosaurs when you don't know them personally? I don't understand.
We've talked about this, Theo. You're just a soulless monster. That's why.
Hey, Theo, I think this would be a topic. Well, I think this is a topic for Touch Grass, Theo.
Oh,
right? Yes.
This is a whole streamlined discussion on why people.
But what were you talking about, man? You were saying like I see the videos of the dogs getting excited when the vets come on. I'm just like, okay.
I don't understand. Like, why is this?
Theo, I think you can understand. Like, imagine if you dropped your beard oil. You'd probably cry then. Why
I'd
would
be
you cry
so
at
upset.
that?
I'd be mad. I spent money on that beard oil. It's mine.
Imagine you're watching a movie that stars a nerd, right? And he gets shut down. He gets turned down by the hot goth girl. How would you feel? Wouldn't you project your sadness onto him because you two have been turned down by so many hot goth chicks?
No, it didn't. That didn't happen to me. They say yes to me. I just
sure, bud.
Must be nice.
Sucks to be that guy.
What if a hot goth girl goes trans?
Oh, thank you, Hyperbolic Ninja. Thank you so much. He's gonna be a guest on our
Pour
show
one out.
coming up in April. So
Right.
By the way,
can't wait for that, man.
By the way, W's in the chat for hot goth girls. Let's get some super chats in for the show. Let's do it.
You're over the muscle mommies?
No, but my point to Dom, I don't want them remaking any of his old movies. I want them to give him money to make his last two. He wants to make movie adaptations of his two favorite properties, the Space Ace and Dragon Slayer, especially Dragon Slayer. And he wants to do it. He wants to target audience speed the kids that are now middle-aged adults that grew up with it. So he won't have any of the restraints he had doing just child-focused material and get to go all out one last shebang. And it blows my mind that they're all like Alysun said, they're too big of pussies to do it.
Yeah.
Well, she said cowards, but
I would love to see I would only love to see a live action remake of All Dogs Go to Heaven, the one that I can actually watch, because I can't watch that movie anymore. Not necessarily because it makes me sad, but just because of the Judy Barcy's fate behind the scenes.
God.
I can't.
Oh God.
Thinking about that, like, do not look that up on Wikipedia. Do not do it.
I already know the whole story. Yeah.
Don't no research. It's actually pretty horrible. I would love to have an All Dogs Go to Heaven that I can watch and not have that terrible memory attached. Not memory, but not have that terrible story.
What if it happens again?
She's in Land Before Time too, so you can't watch that anymore either.
Yeah. But that's not her last one. And what was it? And Burt Reynolds didn't get choked up because he apparently at that last. I've read some interesting trivia. The last line where he's talking to what is her name? I'm blanking.
Yeah.
Anna Marie, so he can't. That's his last. That's like his character. That's his character. Charlie's last scene with Anna Marie, and he can't. He can't get through it because Judy Barcy had just died, and she had just been murdered quite horrifically by her psycho dad.
You told everyone not to Google it, and then you spoiled the ending.
Well, okay,
don't look at why. These are the clips notes. I'm sparing you.
By the way.
It's just so emotional because I can't watch that without.
Why is this upsetting for you? Is it because you know her?
Dude, come on.
Theo, we'll talk about it on Touch Grass.
Because I'm imagining Burt Reynolds, the longest guy, weeping over a child, and that is heartbreaking.
But why are you imagining that?
You need Land Before Time. All Dogs Go to Heaven when you were growing up, my friend.
Yeah, all right, Theo, here I'll give you a cliff notes, right? So one thing that I'm constantly searching for movies that can make me cry, because movies, very few can affect me that way.
You have to watch them first.
Yeah. I do. I look. They're like literally the only movies that relate to it are like Good Will Hunting, right? They've got to relate.
What a gay movie.
Excuse me, Battsauce.
However, no,
you can
they
suck
have
a Star
Robin
Spangled
Williams'
Dick.
best
Fuck
role to
yourself.
date, his best monologue
It is
ever.
one
probably
of the best movies ever made.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm waking smart, man.
That got me.
I like what Drunken Arrow says here. Go ahead and read that.
Okay. Look at the current younger generation raised by parents and teachers that are overprotective about everything. So they aren't letting them even seem real through emotional things in movies. In the movies we had, I kind of get the gist of what he's saying. No, that's exactly right. They're wrapping kids up, not just physically in bubble wrap to protect them from shit. They're protecting their
my ex has gotten mad at me.
Kata, was that towards Arza or Theo?
Selena coming in with jokes.
Honestly, I think Emerald said my ex has gotten pissed off because I showed my kids movies. They're not ready for that. It's real life stuff in the movies. It's movies I watched at that same age.
And to that point, this is something we cover a lot on Touched Grass. Talking a lot about the negative that we're in such a bubble wrap world for my generation and the generation underneath me that they want us to live in The Giver. They want us to be in the world that The Giver is, where everyone is denied the ability to feel severe emotions. And I know people who, if they watch All Dogs Go to Heaven, they're joining Charlie. They could not handle the emotional weight because they do not have the emotional resilience, which is one of the key topics of last week.
I think things like YouTube, honestly, might be a bigger factor than the parents trying to filter that stuff. Because, you get the kids, just put them in front of YouTube and it's just soulless content instead of put on the TV and then they're going to sort through the channels and they'll catch some good stuff on there. Cartoon Network was very, that's good stuff on there.
To counter that, the parents put them in front of the TV. The parents are still responsible, even if it is YouTube's fault. It's because the parents didn't give them better content.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying it's not their fault. I'm just saying what's causing it. You know what I mean? I was put in front of a TV. We didn't really have YouTube back in the day, so it's I watched this shit. I grew up. I was raised by the movies and TV shows I watched. Essentially,
yeah, same.
What were you gonna say, Alysun?
So my 12-year-old. I try to watch movies with her, right, that I grew up on. And this is her when I'm watching. If we were to put on All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yeah.
Watching the soulless YouTube
My
content.
12-year-old, same thing.
Just swipe stimulation. Stimulation. Swipe.
And she used to watch movies with me. She used to watch horror movies when she was. We'd watch horror movies at 10 when she was 10. Now she gets a movie on. She's like the whole time.
Yep. As soon as they get access to the tablet, the computer, the phone, any of that, it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, and I've talked to a lot of people, Allison, that are having the same issue with their kids right around the same age group. They're trying to introduce them to good stuff with actual substance and stories and plots, and it's like pulling teeth to really get them to engage with it. I can't remember who I was talking to.
Kids always it's boring.
It was I think it was Tom. When we had Tom, he said it wasn't until his kid grew up that he could. Then he's getting him interested, and he keeps sending him pictures of what he's watching next.
Yeah,
on physical, Back to the Future and so on.
I remember I was at a church function. I was on May the 4th, and I was wearing a Millennium Falcon T-shirt because it's May the 4th, and I'm an old school Star Wars fan like that. And a little 9-year-old kid was like, "What's that? Are you kidding me?" Star Wars. That was. I saw episode 1 in theaters. That's how old I am, and I still love it. But to me, Star Wars, to our family, Star Wars was a way of life. But I cannot imagine being 9 years old and thinking that that's lame, and that someone had to explain to him. Yes, the Millennium Falcon. Remember, we saw that at Disney when we went at Galaxy's Edge. He's like, "Oh, okay. No, I don't like Star Wars." Damn it, dude.
I'm kind of with the kid now. I understand it.
I can't blame the kids for not liking Star Wars anymore.
Or
something, right?
Let me be the Gen Z advocate for a bit because I'm the young guy here. So there was a point in my life where I was the guy who's just I'm not gonna watch. I'm gonna be on my phone. And I came out that fairly recently. My little sister, who's 6 years younger than me, wanted to watch some TV with me. So I put on, I forget what it was, but we watched some things the other day, and she's on her phone the time. I'm like yelling at her, get her off, get it off of the phone because she's not paying attention to the show at all. And it's a problem that I've noticed is it's not just that they're on their phones, is that they have no motivation or reason to watch the show. Even if they want to watch it, there's not really enough motivation, I feel, to get them to watch it. Because like Darnell constantly makes fun of me for it because I don't watch movies. But I was never really in an environment where my parents were really enforcing me to watch movies. I wish they would have been like, give me your phone, we're putting it away, you're going to sit here and you're going to watch this movie, and we're going to talk about the movie, and we're going to have fun with it. Instead, they just were like, well, he wants to be on his phone, we're just going to completely ignore him and not bother. So I feel like it's not just on Gen Zers, because Gen Zers, I mean, this is
Gen Zers' parents.
It's crack cocaine to us, and we want nothing but this.
I mean, look, my wife, we can't watch anything without her having her phone and watching. She has to have two things stimulating her brain at the same time, and it blows my fucking mind how she does that. I can't stand that.
Even so, I have to remind myself to put my phone down when I'm watching a movie so I can actually pay attention.
Yeah.
To be fair, those movies suck though.
To be fair,
but yeah, they're no good movies.
I mean, like, my other show will go watch some like older movies, and like, because I find myself now at the point where I got my phone when I watch every single movie, which is terrible, but it happens. But like, I go and watch like a good older movie, like a Schwarzenegger movie or something like that, and I don't pick up the phone at all. I'm 100% engaged the entire time. I'm like, man, it's awesome. It's just
modern movies, I'm pretty sure, are made for you to have your phone in your hand.
Yeah.
I think that's just they suck and they are making crap content. But,
well, actually, though, this is something that Netflix specifically said a few years ago, is they want to make content that you're going to watch while on your phone. The goal was to make content that's inoffensive, so you just leave it on in the background while doing things you actually care about. That was one of their goals on Netflix.
Which is smart, because that's how you ramp up watch hours. So why put in a bunch of effort for something that no one's going to watch, and someone's probably just going to have it in the background? And that's also why I think a lot of people's taste in movies and TV shows is shit, because they don't actually pay attention. They're like, yeah, it was good. Like, really? What was it good? How much did you see? Caught it. Maybe they probably only watched me about 30 minutes. The rest of it is probably scrolling their phone. Like, that's why
they can't tell you anything about it. And a lot of this mainstream stuff is vapid, and there isn't really much to describe anyway. That's why it's so important that we have people. And that's why it's important that we have people creating new things, new IPs, new books, comic books, video games, independent film. All of that is extremely important right now, because this is the time when everything is shifting away, because Hollywood's dying. Everything is really like, when the normies and people that are disconnected are starting to see how bad everything, like nothing's good anymore. Then that's when, people like Battsauce's book.
Yeah,
Vaughn Coleman's.
If you need a cure for the kids with their attention and everything like that, right there, man, that'll fix them. Well, keep
Link
them engaged
is
for a whole
in our
60 hours.
In our description. And I want to take a moment to bring this up, and I hope I don't embarrass our guest. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. So this is your work.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about it if I'm not putting you on the spot?
No. So I said at the beginning, I write, young adult coming of age romance stories. And this is about a girl named Lauren who has been playing the violin her whole life. She's considered to be a prodigy. And right before she's about to start her semester at the most prestigious art school in the country, she just loses the inspiration that she has in her to play. And she spends her whole summer trying to find it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So probably this would be something anybody that has that age group we definitely want to pick that up. Reading, that's another thing. When I was growing up, I don't know if any of you guys, I couldn't go on at the time is either Nintendo or Super Nintendo or watch anything if I didn't. It was like doing chores and I had to read, and my mom was a teacher. I had to prove that I read, but that stuck with me, and I don't think enough kids are doing that.
Well, the problem is you're turning reading into a chore, But a lot of times we need to really first of all, we need books that are worth
There has to be
reading.
good books.
Honestly, though, it kind of is. You know, it's like it's a really fulfilling chore, but like for a lot of people, especially like someone like me, if I try to read a book, it takes a lot of obviously time, but energy as well.
It's an energy suck. It's an attention suck.
I often find it very worth it. Oh, you got super, by the way, Iron. Oh, you got
another super.
Well, and then when you're young and you're first learning how to read, all the books that they want you to read are boring books.
Yes. Yes, that's a big problem. See, that was the thing. I got to read good. I got to read stuff I wanted to read. So, I read it way before I was old. I probably should.
Yep.
Now that's also my mom was a little ill-informed of the content in the books. She just knew.
My
grandpa said it was really scary. And then I got hooked on the R.L. Stine. I was literally like that poor R.L. Stine girl. Just, but it also, like, if you're forced to read early enough, you develop a habit for it, and then you're not forced anymore. It only takes a few years with a kid.
A great source of books for kids is going to be Heinlein books. Going back, they're going to be very good science fiction books.
Robert Heinlein?
Yeah, Robert A. Heinlein.
Oh yeah.
BS1 for 5. Oh, hey, there's a super chat button now.
Thank you,
Mr. Burger of the Mr. Burger Show. Yeah, Aaron, I agree. Hollywood sucks. Say, aren't you associated with producing and voicing an amazing cartoon called the Mr. Burger Show? Absolutely. In fact, let me pull up. I got some links for that. I will share that in the chat. There will be a preview to the Mr. Burger Show. I'm now voicing more than one character because that table reading was a lot of fun. And we're actually talking about doing a live table reading. Go subscribe to Mr. Burger and he'll have more details about that. I don't want to give anything away when I shouldn't. Let's see if I got everything on that. So it's going to be a fast-paced 30-minute animated cartoon series through Media Nerd. And it's going to be streaming on major platforms like Prime Video, Freevee, and Tubi. And there will be a sneak peek to the amazing show coming out this December. So be looking out for that. I will be consistently posting updates as I'm allowed to. And follow Mr. Burger. And I think there might be a fan account out there. It's called Burger in Exile that's completely unassociated with them. But they sometimes post updates as well. But you can follow me and I'll post them. And go subscribe to Mr. Burger. All right. Well, I think we're right at the little over the 2-hour mark, and I don't want to keep anybody. It is a weeknight, so getting used to. Normally on our Friday night shows, we could just, if we're in the vibe, we would just go for like 4 hours sometimes. I'm not doing that on Wednesdays, and I'm not doing that to my guests either. So we're gonna go ahead and go around the horn and do outros. Starting at the bottom with Battsauce. What's going on, man?
Hey, I've been kind of on a break from things. Had stuff going on in my life. I had a kid and then he got sick. Maybe Vaughn's fault for that too. Who knows? But
psychopath.
Subscribe to the channel. Battsauce, my channel. I'm gonna be putting a lot more content on there. Hopefully coming soon. And then I got a lot of things behind the scenes working. So, but yeah.
Awesome. Everybody go follow Battsauce and you'll know what's going on with Battsauce. Selena, do you have anything coming up that outside of this show?
Actually, if I do, I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry. But yeah, you can find me on here on Wednesdays now and Friday nights, 5:35 p.m. PST. Friday, we have a very, very cool guest. I'll let Iron let you know who's coming up on Friday. But yeah, if I forgot anything, I'm sorry. But anyway, have a good night, guys.
Darnell Quigley.
Hey, thanks for having me here on the first episode of the Weekly Rogues Gallery. I appreciate you bringing me here for everything. Check out youtube.com/@Sham Records for my AI generated music. Feel free to send me a DM on Twitter or X at Darnell Quigley, Quiggly, no E. If if you want music made, I do it for free. And I also have 2 shows that we'll be producing coming up soon with a couple of the people here in the panel. I also do insert title here Friday nights, Touch Grass Saturday mornings, and Curse of Strahd with UM and Nate on every other Saturday, which we'll be doing this Saturday, episode 18 of Curse of Strahd.
Yes, absolutely. Arza.
I'm back at the grind. I'm getting videos out again. I had to take today off because I had to do some family stuff, and then I did 2 live streams. So hopefully those 2 live streams make up for my videos. Like I said, I just get the news out to you guys. I read 1 news article a day, give you my thoughts, and my thoughts are pretty funny and sometimes gay. Don't worry about it. Theo likes me. I'm going to be on Touch Grass this Saturday. I hope. I gotta wait for my mom to let me know if we're doing anything because I'm still a college student, which means my mom basically controls my schedule. Lovely.
Oh boy.
I didn't know that's how that worked in college.
Things
have changed since I was in college.
I lived 15 minutes away from home.
I lived in Japan when I was your age.
Rude, but okay. No, I live 15 minutes from home. I'm constantly being scheduled to do stuff without being told about it in advance. So I should be on, though. I should be on. Next week, my nephew turns 1, though, so that's going to be super fun. And, yeah, just be getting videos out. I got a midterm tomorrow, so that'll be fun. And, yeah.
Awesome. Back to the hat, Strider.
Well, you can find me, of course, every Friday on the Weekend Rogues, whichever name it's going to be given, Weekend Rogues Gallery this Friday. Then Saturday, I'll be on with Full Metal Nate on for D&D with Darnell and Theo and you and Iron and Selena stock in the chat. It's gonna be good. I was gonna do my first ever live stream tomorrow night, just reading a book, but Death in the Family, so I'm not really feeling it. So I'll try to postpone it next week, see how I feel about that. But
that's understandable.
So just keep an eye on that. We're just gonna be reading a book for maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and if I get copyright struck, I get copyright struck. But what the hell, I want to read. So, but yeah, appreciate this was
just do it on Rumble.
A lot of fun. Yep. Absolutely, I think I might. We'll see if I break it up a little bit for YouTube for the algorithm not to kick me, but we'll see.
And if you're done taking all the notes from everything Arza was saying, because I know you were, Theo Snodgrass.
Hey everybody! So I host a show called Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass. That's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time over on my YouTube channel. It's very cool, and you should definitely go watch it. I'm also on the Weekend Rogues Gallery. I'm also on Insert Title here. Guess what? So if you want to see all the cool stuff I'm up to, go to my link tree, follow me on YouTube, follow me on X. I've also got some fun stuff on my Patreon, and I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm going to be adding to it. So go ahead and support me on there. I've also got a merch store that's up and running that I put a lot of work into that is finally working. And so things are happening. Go check out my sweet merch if you want to support what I'm doing, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
San Diego 7, baby. San Diego 7.
Can Darnell please
San Diego 7 or Thimu Jesus? Both good choices.
By the way, I am on Theo's show in the morning too. My bad, you guys. I'm so bad. I just made a panelist, you guys. I have to remember these things. I need to write it down. Don't go to his channel.
And now to our guest this evening, Alysun. So I promise, I hope this doesn't make you never want to go on panel shows again. This one is just, I don't run a tight ship. It's just chaos. So I hope you had a good time. What are your thoughts on podcasts going forward?
This one was a lot better than my first one. Had so much fun on this one.
Well, I had a lot of fun on the one you were on, and that's all that matters. I was just in the chat watching.
It's a funny story, but it is.
Yes. If you go subscribe to Theo Snodgrass's channel and just go back a few episodes, you'll find it and you won't be disappointed.
Okay.
I'm glad everyone else had fun. That was great.
But I do have a new book coming out this May. So
excellent. Please keep us informed. Just let us know, and we'll give it a shout out on the show. Just keep us up to date on it. And
let me know when the Netflix series comes out. I'll probably check it out then.
Yes.
Oh, the race swap redhead.
Everybody's
or Alvin, the biopic of your life, you're going to be played by Viola Davis. And
it's funny because my next book stars a redhead. So.
Oh no!
Well, just know when Netflix writes you that check, that shit ain't happening.
Everybody go
Or
check out her
Disney.
book. I just put in the link for the Amazon store. Go check it out right now.
And I will put the link in the chat right now. Well, I think our first Wednesday show went off pretty good. I had a really good time, and I hope everybody else did as well. Going forward, the weekly Rogues Gallery is now every Wednesday at 5:35 p.m. PST. The Friday show is just being renamed to the weekend, just so that there's a little bit of a difference there, and nothing else there has changed. It'll still be at Fridays at 5:35 p.m. PST. This Friday is going to be a good one. We have Camelot, NASCAR driver, YouTuber, and Naked Snake himself coming in to hang out, and we're going to have a lot of fun. I got a lot to talk about. That one, we're going to go off the rails. I can already tell. I'm not even worried about topics. We're just gonna free ball it because I think that's what he's into.
Hey.
All right.
You said Naked Snake and now free balling. I'm
If you know who Camelot is, don't pretend like you don't.
I actually don't. I have no idea. I have no clue.
Oh my.
Oh, dude. No, Camelot's great. He's hilarious.
He's good. He's great.
Then let's see. This weekend, I'll be over on Sammy Threepeat's channel for his the Batcave podcast, where he takes an academic approach to the lore and mythos of Batman. I'm extremely excited that he asked me to be a part of that, and that's going to be fun. It'll be about 8:30 a.m. PST, but go subscribe to his channel and check it out to be sure, because there is a time difference, so I may have gotten the time wrong, so you need to go check him out. Then immediately after, I'll be on Theo Snodgrass Touch Grass. I'm looking forward to that as usual. That is definitely become a highlight of my weekend and worth getting up a little bit earlier on my day off. Then right after that is Curse of Strahd over on Full Metal Nate's channel for episode 119. I don't know, something.
18.
Oh God, Strahd is never going away, is he? Well,
he ain't gonna leave us alone.
Give us a few months.
We're in Barovia again. But it's fun. I love it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't. Probably going to end up being one of the biggest D&D streamers on the internet, as long as he doesn't give up like a pussy. But I don't think he will.
Matt Mercer, he is not for and that's a good thing. So eat your heart.
And aside from that, you can follow myself and the rest of the panel over on X for updates on everything we're doing. To go check us out. And we'll see everybody again on Friday. Thanks for watching. Hard out tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Goodbye.